Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. How about you? I've been very busy working on a few projects. Trust one of the projects that are coming up, guys. I know it's gonna blow your guys' mind. We're just having a call with my partner and friend on it. Something crazy. I think all of you guys are gonna be able to use. Both of the projects are very good, and it's something that hasn't been done before. But one of them specifically as well is gonna blow your mind, and everyone is gonna be able to use it. It's gonna be a very very important tool for da'wah. So look forward for that. It's something coming very, very soon. Crazy, crazy good. Mashallah. But yeah, that's why we've been busy doing a few things here and there. Your favorite sandwich is here. What are you talking about? Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Okay, guys, did you watch the debate between Sneako and Alex Jones or no? Give us a sneak peek. No spoiler. No, I'm not gonna give you guys any spoilers. Not yet. We did, we did. No, 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 not yet. Yes, I did. Okay. So it seems like a lot of people haven't watched it yet, right? Okay, good. So we can watch it together then. When I watch a part of it, there is like quite a few claims that haven't been responded to. That I was hoping that they were responded to. So I thought it's great to respond to them, inshallah. Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It's a waste of time. Well, I don't know. I mean, if you watch the clip on its own, you mean it's a waste of time? Did you watch the whole thing? I mean, there is a lot of benefit for people to hear about Islam, which is why we would react to it because we want people to get answers for these questions that have been asked. So reacting to it is not a waste of time. And I'm sure there is a benefit in it as well. We'll watch it now and find out. I wouldn't say like waste of time is the right way to describe it completely. I mean, I didn't, unless you saw the entire thing. Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I think it's a bit harsh to call it a waste of time, though. All right. So should we get into it, inshallah? Let's get into it. So the project that I'm talking to you about, guys, is something that is going to be able to, like I said, help with the da'wah overall. So everyone can use it for da'wah, and to if you meet some non-Muslim, if you come across certain questions that you are unable to answer, so it's going to be very very beneficial. Of course, it's not going to answer like absolutely everything. However, hopefully in the future it will. But for now, it's going to be very, very, very beneficial. Is it free? Like always, this this question is the first question that comes. Of course, you can use it for free, but there will be ways to use it which are enhanced because, of course, it will take money to handle that project itself. Of course, it's two projects, anyways. But if everything is thinking you're thinking about is it free, I think that's a big part of the reason, honestly, the Muslim Ummah is in the place that it is in today. Before even knowing what kind of project it is, the question we ask is it free? Ah, Allah al-Musta'an. There is a reason why we've been surpassed by so many of the disbelievers that are spending all of this money to deter people away from the path of Allah. Right? They're spending their wealth, as Allah Azza wa Jalla Himself says in the Quran. ينفقون أموالهم ليصدوا عن سبيل الله. They spend their wealth so they can deter others from the path of Allah. So they will spend it, and it will be their own detriment. And then they will be sent to hellfire. Of course, the disbelievers. But the believers are like, can I do it for free, please? Can we? Is there a way where can I not pay anything at all? Is there a way where can I sit home, not pay money, not spend time, and get everything I need at the same time? No, my friend, I'm sorry, but that's not how real life works. Allah understand. All right, so let's get into let's get into the content and see what we want to say, inshallah. All right. So, okay. So what's happening? What are we reacting to? So there was a clip from Sneako, a very small, short clip that went very viral. That I'm gonna play right now. I'm gonna give my thoughts on it, and then that clip, that specific clip, sparked a lot of controversy that led to Alex Jones commenting on it, Elon Musk, and so many other people. And then there was like this debate happening between Sneako and Alex Jones. Okay, so let's have a look. What kind of clip are we talking about? Okay, one second. Let me share my screen. Just let me know if the audio is working. Okay, let's see.
Islam will be in every household. Inshallah, the whole world is Muslim. Takbir! Allahu Akbar! Oh no! Oh no! This is the Islamic Republic of New Yorkistan. Islam will be in every household. Inshallah, the whole world is Muslim. Welcome to Mamdani's New York. You see this city? You see how it looks? Inshallah, your city looks just like this too. This is the Islamic Republic.
All right. So this was the very, very controversial clip. And I think you guys understand why it's a controversial clip. I mean, I don't think anybody needs to say, "Oh my God, what? I didn't expect this clip to become controversial. Why is it controversial?" It's controversial because it's meant to be controversial, right? That's the whole point behind making the clip this way. So Sneako here is doing it purposely. He knows that this type of content is going to, shake some feathers. It's going to get people to go crazy. It's going to rage bait everybody, and people are going to talk about it. Now, I mean, we love our brother Sneako, of course. You guys know we have some disagreements with him. Some of the things maybe politically he says or he promotes, or some of the positions he takes, whatever. Nobody's perfect. He's still our brother in Islam, of course, and he does a lot of work that can benefit Islam in many ways. However, you see, like content like this, it is perfect for becoming viral. It's perfect for rage baiting disbelievers. But the question is it really beneficial to Islam and Muslims? The question should be like this. Is it beneficial to Sneako's brand? Yeah, probably, because it's going to give him a lot of exposure. People can listen to him more, can hear him, can be rage baited by what he's saying. And I know he knows what he's doing. Of course, when he's making this clip, he knows how to, hence the FU thing that he said, right? He said it because he knows it's going to rage bait people and get them angry and upset. But the question is it beneficial? Like I said, that's the question. Is it beneficial? Is this the right way to do things Islamically? Because, I mean, imagine I go on YouTube. Is it hard for me to do a clip like this, or for other Muslim du'at to do a clip like this? It's very easy. If any of us makes a video and say, oh, we're going to, take and then use the word over and then say all of your whatever countries. If we say some nonsense like this, of course, I'm not saying it so nobody cuts it in a way and try to put it in a clip or something. That's why I'm saying it very weirdly now. But if I say something like this, or Muslims say something like this, it's gonna go viral as well. It's very easy. Just do a clip like this, put it on Twitter, put it on whatever, this and that. Why? Because this is a propaganda that has been spreading. Propaganda has been spreading is that Muslims are trying to do all of that. There's this secret plan, like this. There's this conspiracy theory of Muslims all over the world, like in all of these European countries, sitting together in a mosque, drinking what you call it again? What was the name of that tea? Karak tea. Drinking karak tea in some mosque, and then doing this mastermind plan to take over the universe, right? So there is this theory that is being propagated and pushed and spread all over the Western world, right? So if we are come out there and do a video and say that this is what say something like this, then it will go viral, because it's proving the propaganda that these people are saying. Allegedly, we are the ones who are admitting ourselves that what they're saying about us is true. And we've been spending years trying to counter this propaganda and tell the people that this is not the case. Nobody has like a secret plan in a mosque to do something. If Muslims were that united, We've already taken over the universe, right? There's 2 billion Muslims. You have like what, 50 or so million orange juice. You guys know what I'm talking about. We're gonna call them orange juice in this video, just to avoid like some censorship. So there's like 50 million or so orange juice around the world, and they're already controlling. You can see the government of America, the government of so many different countries. Okay, and there's only 50 million. Imagine 2 billion of us if we were united, like the orange juice is united. Nobody's gonna be like needing to make secret plans because we already have the power. 50 million, not 50 million. I don't think. I think they're more than that. I don't think they're only 50 million in the world, are they? They're. I think they're larger than this. Let's see. Let's go to our usual Uncle Google, Sheikh Google. It says 15, but I don't think it's 15 in the entire world, is it? I mean, maybe. I mean, I really don't think this is accurate. However, this is what Sheikh Google is saying. So that's even worse in this case. So imagine there's actually 15, and of course, it's not that even the 15 million are united themselves, right? So imagine it just makes it worse. If it's only 15 orange juice in the world, and not even the entire 15 are together, and they already have this much control over certain political countries and superpowers and whatever. Imagine if 2 billion of us had these secret plans, man, and we were sitting actually enjoying our karak together in the mosque and making this like great conspiracy. We wouldn't need to hide. Just like they have all of these APAC and all of these like government lobbies, whatever, and where they tell you very explicitly that they won like over 90% of the seats and stuff like that. They don't have to hide. So if you had 2 billion people doing this stuff, trust me, nobody would need to hide whatsoever. So there's this conspiracy theory, and then there is this video. And the question again is this beneficial for the Muslim Ummah as a whole or not? The reality is, I'm of the position this is not the right way to do things. The right way is not that you do a rage bait thing so you can get people to talk about something. I mean, but Sneako has been doing this throughout his career, of course, not just to do with Islam, but overall, I think he has this idea of let's do something very rage baity, whatever, that gets people to talk, and then we can start a conversation. But I think with Islam, this is not the way to do things. This is not the way to do things. The reason being is what? Is how many people are actually going to follow up and go and watch your conversation later on or whatever? How many people? The overwhelming majority, you'll have millions of people, because this clip is going to be cut, as it is already. We're playing on YouTube now from some news channel. Because this clip is going to be cut, and you will have millions of people, literally. And Sneako has like a lot of influence. A lot of people know who he is. Not just some random person. That's why you had Alex Jones calling for his deportation on X after this clip. He reacted to the clip calling for his deportation. You had the trillionaire, the only trillionaire in the world or whatever, Elon Musk, the richest man, agreeing and saying, yes, this is concerning, or absolutely he should be deported. So now you have millions of people, literally, who are going to see this very small snippet. And what is this going to do? Is going to confirm in their minds that, oh, this conspiracy that is being widespread is true. So now first I'm going to talk about Islam, and then I'm going to talk about how it can influence Sneako as well. Because first it can influence Islam in this negative way, in which you have all of these people now thinking that all of these Muslims are trying to actually, because they look at the clip, even if Sneako says something like inshallah means God willing, he means that if God wills, this will happen. He doesn't mean that we are going to do something like crazy or something and make people Muslim. No, he just is talking about that God willing that this will be the case. So he's saying hopefully that God's plan that this will happen, right? But people don't understand this. They don't understand what inshallah means. They don't look at this clip and see when you say that the whole world is going to become Muslim. They don't understand the context. You didn't say that, I mean, God is going to guide the people. You have to say this. If you don't say stuff like this explicitly, they're not going to understand it, of course. They don't have the creed of a Muslim and the aqidah of a Muslim, so they can understand what inshallah means and what is the meaning of your statement. And they're just going to see the snippet, the clip. They're going to take that clip, and this is the reality of the 21st century now. Everything is clipped, right? Everything is done like this, through clips. So Sneako might have the good intention in his heart, might have the right intention, might want to do things his way, right? Which he's been doing things. But we have to think a few steps ahead. So first, this is going to be used, and trust me, guys, this is not only going to be used like today, like we see is going viral, these couple of weeks. No, it's going to continue to be used for years now. Probably 20 years later, you're going to see them using this clip. They're already using clips of Muslims praying Jumu'ah or something, or praying Eid. Years back, they're using it today. They use these clips online, and something is done years and years in the past, but they still recirculate the clips. They're making AI clips, let alone having an actual clip. So they're going to continue using this for a very long time. Sadly, they're going to continue using this for a very long time. So now, what can this cause? This can cause a lot of the people that are already living in fear, thinking, they call it a phobia for a reason, right? A phobia is this irrational fear. They have this irrational fear for Muslims, and now this is just going to make them more alert. You know what? Oh my God, these people are gonna turn my city, New Yorkistan, has become a Muslim, state. Now my state is also going to be a Muslim state if I don't do anything about it. And you have these num-nums that don't have any brain, that follow the likes of Alex Jones and his likes. And what they're going to do, they're going to look at that clip, and they're going to take that clip, and they're going to go and they say, we're going to have to do something about this. Like the two crazy people that we saw, the San Diego mosque trying to do something to the kids. They had the same mentality, that Muslims are trying to take over, stuff like this, and we got to do something about it. And you have so many crazy people like that that live in an echo chamber, that only watch a select group of people. So the clip can have a really, really huge bad impact. Even if you argue that there is a benefit in it, which we can discuss when we're watching the debate, it can have a lot more negative effects than it does have any positive effects in this case. The second thing, on Sneako himself. And I mentioned this to Sneako before, but there's many things that he does. He may do for rage baiting, for clips, for all the stuff like that, but he doesn't look at the long-term effect on himself. Like, you guys know that he was unfairly banned from Australia. I don't know if you guys know that or not. But he went to Australia and he was banned. They said he was antiseptic. You guys know what. He's been antiseptic, and therefore they banned him. And they used some clips, similar clip like this, when he was screaming Allah Akbar, something like that in one of the places. So they would use these things so they can persecute him. And we're talking about now on governmental levels. Okay, maybe America is not going to do. We don't even know that. I'm sure they're already monitoring him. He mentioned many times when he goes to airports, sit him down, check his phone, whatever. Now he can be banned from other countries as well. They can have justifications. You're like, okay, look, we think you are this because of this clip. We will ban you from this platform because of this clip, or we will do this to you because of this clip. So I don't think it's worth it for him himself, worrying about his safety, worrying about the level of reach, the level of government officials he can sit with. He met the prime minister in Malaysia, for example. But when you do stuff like this and you're very controversial, also the level of reach that you can have, the people that you can sit with, it's going to be limited, because they wouldn't want to sit with you, because they wouldn't want to deal with the backlash of the media channels that they're going to speak about him meeting you and people sitting down with you. Everybody who's associated with you can also fear some sort of repercussion from what you're doing. So you got to think about things a lot more realistically when we talk about things like that. They keep using a clip of a speaker saying men are going to have 400 versions every day. Yeah, like this. Probably a clip like this. I saw them using clips from some mashayikh, Arabic speaking mashayikh, Arabic speaking shuyukh. They're using clips from people who were probably like 30, 40 years ago on some Peace TV or some channel or whatever the channel is. They'll use clips from them, let alone when you have a clip like this. So someone says, so what? Are they jealous? It is not about jealousy. It's about how you say something and what is the effect it is going to make on people. It's not about jealousy. It's about them now. It's about the idea of fear mongering. The enemy is using fear mongering tactics where they're trying to make it seem like the Muslims are not all just taking over. Oh, they're going to do something to your daughters. They're going to do something to your son. They're going to do something to your neighbor. It's fear mongering. And that fear mongering is going to lead to a reaction. And that reaction is not speech. It's going to be violence. and it's leading more to people being violent against each other. So we got to understand something like this. It's not so simple and small. Like I mentioned to you the example of the San Diego mosque thing. So who's would you say jealous? It's not jealous. It's people taking things into their own hand. So let's have a look at the debate, guys. Let's get into the debate. I mean, I made a bit of commentary on this clip, which is what sparked the debate, right? Let's get into the debate itself and see what was actually going on in the debate itself. What happened? Okay, let's jump into the debate, guys. Give me 1 second. Yes, Muhammad Azhar. I used to be an online space as a streaming. Clips are always taken out of context and using it against the person. Yeah, this is the new thing in this day and age. I always try my best not to allow people to have out of context clips that they can use from me. I try my best not to do this crazy reaction, crazy stuff, this and that. So people don't have clips that they can use of you out of context. But still, you'd have someone using something. Like you can never prevent that. But to what extent can to some extent you can limit it, you can make it better. Okay, so let's get into the discussion itself. Give me 1 second here. Okay. Where is the debate? I don't know why it's not showing up. Did they we call it shadow ban it or something? Where is it? Or did Sneako remove it? Wait, let me see. I don't think he did. Let me try and find it. Where? Oh, here it is. It's strange because I searched for it, but it doesn't appear. It doesn't instantly. Okay, here it is. Let me share my screen. Oh, here's Sneako. Hey, man, how are you? We're going to react to your discussion now. And let's have a look at this debate. All right. Share screen. Bring him on. Sneako is there if he wants to come on. Of course, he's more than welcome to come on. Wait, let's full screen this thing. All right, you guys see this, right? All right, let's listen to it, inshallah. Let's get into it.
Alex Jones.
Should I put it on 1.5 maybe or something? You guys tell me if it's too fast. I'm gonna put on 2.5 first.
It's good to finally meet you. I've been watching your work it's been like a couple decades. Well, yes, since I was a kid, I've known about you. Been watching your podcast appearances on Joe Rogan, and now you want me deported from my country. So let's start with that. You challenged me to a debate. I think it's important to start with some of the claims you made. Is the audio okay in here, guys? Can you guys hear?
I hear you loud and clear, Sneako.
And there's no echo. Okay, so you want me deported from America for exercising my First Amendment rights. You're making a shock face. This is what you said. You said deport now, and then Elon Musk, the trillionaire African migrant into America, who's bringing in tons of H-1B visas. He said, yes, he wants me deported as well.
Well, to be clear, I wasn't making a shock face. I was enjoying my iced tea right here in Texas. So I was gulping it down. No, I did say that, and Elon agreed with me on that viral post of your viral post. And here's where I stand on that. Obviously, I was saying that more rhetorically because we have separation of church and state in the United States. I've read the Quran twice. It is a battle manual about to take over the world.
So you don't actually want me deported from America? Or
well, hold on.
Okay, so here. I think it's very, very. Is that a robot voice filter? I think it's just his voice, guys. That's how he speaks. Yeah, so the first thing is he made this point multiple times, and we're going to watch it now, right? So he says he read the Quran twice, which I think he's a liar. I don't think this guy read the Quran twice. I think he's a liar. He claims it's a battle manual. And I think the first thing that Sneako should do here, of course, Sneako is pressing him again about the deportation of himself, which I understand why He reminded me of your debate with Zerk. You cannot have a rational debate with someone like this, right? I know what you mean. It's nearly impossible to have a rational debate with someone. They just deflect, they move over, they go from one place to another. There's like it's absolutely impossible to have a discussion with people like that. So he made this point about like the Quran is a battle manual, and I understand Sneako, of course, want to keep him on the topic of the debate because he called him for this debate so they can debate the idea of him being deported. He didn't call him for the debate to debate Islam. But what Alex Jones is doing is that he's sticking specifically on this point. He's sticking specifically on this point. He wants to just talk about Islam. And you guys are going to see this in the discussion. He doesn't want to speak about the deportation itself specifically. He wants to speak about this idea. And of course, Nico, because he's the one who's being targeted here about his own deportation, he wants to highlight this point. But what I wanted you to do, Sneako, as well, is to actually refute this nonsense that this guy is saying. Because, of course, to claim that he read the Quran twice, he is absolutely lying, 100%. Because he's claiming that the Quran is a battle manual. So then just a simple question, just pressing him on this topic. You're like, okay, you read the Quran twice. Call me, which verse are you talking about that you're saying is a battle manual? Go ahead, tell me. And you can give some examples and some verses refuting the nonsense that he's saying. Like Allah saying in the Quran, chapter 2, verse 256, there's no compulsion in religion. Allah saying in the Quran, chapter 60, verse 8, Allah does not forbid you from being just and righteous and good towards the people who don't fight you because of religion and do not kick you out of your homes. Allah only forbids you from those people who fight you, the people who kick you out of your homes, from being just towards them. So Allah tells us that we can live in harmony with people like that. So refuting this nonsense about claiming the Quran is a battle manual, it's like it's a bunch of nonsense, of course. So I was hoping you pressed him a bit more on this nonsense that he was saying.
Can I listen? You want to do 3 minutes and I'll do 3 minutes because we're debating.
No, sure. I want to interrupt. Go ahead.
No, it's fine. I mean, I'll.
بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه بفضل الله ومنه الآن نحن في.
All right.
Here's the deal. Orthodox Islam is expansionist. Orthodox Islam in the Quran promises to take over the world, and we have separation of church and state in this country, and we have people saying every household will be under this. That's not the same as the New Testament saying every knee will bow to God when they finally see God. Okay, so
why is it not? Why is it not? Why is saying that Islam will be in every household and saying that every knee will bow is not the same? Tell us, like, give us the point. He says it's not the same, but why is it not the same?
My issue is you're jumping around all crazy.
So look, he didn't say why. He just said this is not the same as this, and then he went to a different topic. Really? Okay. So why don't you give us the reason of why it is not the same? People who are telling me to lower the volume, guys, you realize you got your own controls in your own earphone, right? You can just lower the volume on your own earphone, inshallah. Just lower the volume on your side. I'll lower it a bit here. There you go.
He's doing throat slitting motions, saying "F you," basically. I take it as America, and saying you will go.
I don't think Sneako is doing throat motions or whatever. I don't think he was doing that. We saw the clip. Did you guys see anything like that? I think this guy is making this part up.
Under this, we're going to take your cities. We're going to dominate you. Now,
of course, he also didn't say we're going to take your cities or we're going to dominate you.
I've seen thousands of imams, say all this, and if you don't convert, we're allowed to take your women and use them as slaves, and all the rest of it. It pisses me off when somebody says, "I'm going to plant my flag up your ass, and we're going to dominate you," and then there you are, an American with an American accent, saying that. It's even more horrifying to people, and it basically starts a war. So I'd love to see a reformation in Islam like we had in Christianity back when some of.
Okay, so here's the argument he says, right? He says that Muslims are saying that we're going to take over your household, we're going to take your women and turn them into, slaves and whatever, and this starts a war. He is accusing Sneako of everything he himself is doing. Yeah, join Sneako, of course. I'll send you a link. Let me send you a link on. Give me 1 second. Let me send you a link so you can join, inshallah. All right, I'll send it to you now. All right, I sent you the link on WhatsApp, inshallah. You can join there. Warner is here as well, huh? W Warner, man. You're welcome to join as well if you want. Like, you guys are all welcome to join, of course, and the reaction. So he's here accusing Sneako of the same thing he himself is doing. Why? Because the nonsense that he claims, the nonsense that he makes, and the nonsense that he claims 24/7, claiming that Muslims are trying to take over. The Quran is a battle manual. Muslims are trying to take over your household, take over your daughter, do this, this, and that. What is this starting? Is this starting a kindergarten peaceful singing contest? It is the fear mongering tactic that leads everybody to craziness. Let me add Sneako. Wait. Let's do this, I guess. Sneako, how are you, man? Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. How are you? Good to hear from you. I was going
Alhamdulillah,
to
how are
text
you?
you earlier, actually. Alhamdulillah, I'm good. I am actually going to Medina right now. Need to
Oh,
get
mashallah.
away.
Allah. MashaAllah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
How are
think
you?
you've been facing a lot of the, alhamdulillah, I think you've been facing a lot of the attacks from these people after this clip specifically as well, right? Things have probably been very difficult for you.
I mean,
I mean, and you're used to it, but yeah.
yeah, it's another day. So, I'm used to it. I'm used to it. It is getting strange too, seeing clavicular in Israel right now, and other ones, the white supremacists and Mexicans are now saying they're siding with Israel. It's getting weird. So it's just this is when I think it's important. Actually, I think Warner's watching the stream. He just texted me. He said, "Oh, you're going to Medina without me?" I think so. I'm like Warner. Yeah, I was. This is Warner's advice. He told me like earlier this year. Warner, text me if you want to come. He texted me saying, "Whenever things get overwhelming, just go to Medina. That's like the place where I find peace." Be good to see you again there. It was, but yeah, to speak about the debate, I saw you were saying that I should have refuted it more. You're right, but I want to. My strategy is the reason that I'm getting these debates with people like Rabbi Misrahi, Alex Jones, Steiny, and even that I just debated these two rabbis at the same time. It was a 2v1, Rabbi Misrahi and Rabbi Aaron versus me. They say that they don't debate Muslims. They say that straight up, like they'll debate Christians, they can't debate Muslims. They accept it with me because they don't see me as a Muslim apologist. I'm a streamer, but I'm also Muslim. So they think it's going to be easy. Where I have a better ability is when I can stick to politics. And so my strategy with this debate, I knew Alex Jones was going to throw out classic Islam, anti-Islam rhetoric from Facebook. And I also think that your demeanor in a debate goes a long way. That's why I said it was similar to your debates with other people that are drinking and smoking, because towards the end, not to spoil it, but like he has literally like a jinn possession moment. He starts like he literally looks like he's possessed by a demon. I'm not exaggerating. They'll see it if they don't believe me. So I think that it's better because I'm still learning a lot and I have much more to learn. I think my uh, presentation and the way I hold myself, especially he's twice my age. This guy's 52 years old and he's just screaming and drinking and going on and on. I think that instead of refuting every single claim and getting trapped and, I don't want to get stuck and not be able to refute something that I'm not well equipped to refute. So he is saying classic slop, but I wanted to stick to the fact. The main part of the debate was, okay, you want me deported. Alex Jones and Elon Musk are saying I should be deported. Why? And he conceded. At the end, he says, "Oh, I admit you shouldn't be deported." So I got him. Like that. That's the main issue. And then when it comes to Islam versus Christianity, I think for the viewer, anybody neutral, look at the way he's handling himself and look at the way I'm handling myself. I think that actually goes a long way towards people, and it's very effective dawah in how you carry yourself.
Yeah, so I completely agree with you. I understand your kind of idea when you came into it because you focus on two things. On two things, you focus on the orange juice being the main issue that we have, of course, that we should focus on rather than focusing on other topics or other ideas, right? And you focused on the idea of deportation, that this goes against the First Amendment, and you're claiming to be a champion of the First Amendment movement. You're claiming to champion American values. I think you did very well there. So without a shadow of a doubt, I see you focusing on these points. The only issue I worry about is the following: is you have the idea of brainwashing, right? Brainwashing works as the following: when everybody's repeating the same thing, you start believing it's true, right? So what he did throughout the discussion, he is repeating the same things that all the groups of people that you're talking about are doing, which is repeating that Muslims are the problems. Muslims are a bunch. The Quran is a battle manual. Muslims are trying to do this to your daughter. They're trying to do that to your son. One time you did something very well, but you did this with the cousin marriage thing, right? And by the way, I have a video on this, and
I just saw. I was going to watch that.
Yeah. I think you should watch that part of the video. It's very important to answer how to answer this. The idea of the cousin marriage, you told him it's also in the Bible, right? And I like that because it highlights, because a lot of the people watching who are the following, that are following him, that are Christians, have no clue what the Bible says. So he came back with the idea, this is the Old Testament. Now, they always come up with this, but there's a very simple question to ask. Whenever someone tells you this, because they will always tell you this, just ask the question: is the Old Testament from God or from Satan? Who revealed the Old Testament?
Because as soon as they start insulting Islam and our prophet, peace be upon him, immediately just, okay, well, the Old Testament says that you could pay 50 shekels to purchase the victim of a grape. And it's like, if they concede that, then you also think, so that was a great rebuttal. I even brought it up here. But it's interesting too, because like everyone's chimping out about this. And I said, inshallah, Islam comes in every household. You know, because I want to spread Islam. But it's very simple. And obviously, I was wondering if you had some sort of disagreement with the way I said it. But it is rage bait. And also what I think I exposed is that the right wing, they went for 10 years about censorship and about woke people and about how, oh, these crybaby leftists, they try to censor everything. Look at all the free speech champions now say exactly what the woke people say. I should be deported for free speech. Now I'm more American than you. You claim to love America, but you want me deported for free speech. Not only that, the richest man in the world, an African migrant, calling for this, and they side with him. So they're not actually free speech. They don't actually want American values. Not only that, I say that inshallah, people become Muslim, they all lose their minds. In this debate, Alex Jones says he wants to wage a war on the Muslims. He wants to start a crusade. Did anybody clip that up and does that go viral? No one cares. People don't take him seriously. He doesn't even take himself seriously. He's just a chaos agent. He's just there kind of confuse people. He's just a comedian. He's not even a serious person, and I think he knows that. It exposes the double standard where he's literally waging war, and I say, I don't want to wage war. I love people, and I want the best for them. That's why I want them to come to the truth. So it really just shows that they want free speech except for thee.
So what I want you to do is think about this, right? Think about this, huh? Ignore. You know what I'm talking about, huh? Ignore Elon Musk, ignore Alex Jones, ignore these people. How many people watch them is the problem. How many people are going to see the clip, right? So for me, it's not the individual, right? Alex Jones can believe whatever he wants to believe. But the problem is how many people are perceiving the video and the clip that are not going to watch the context. I'm sure, do you know how many times you probably agree that you say to someone, did you watch my content? Do you watch my content? Or did you watch just the clip? And you know the answer, sadly, is that they just watch the clip. So the problem is that we sadly, at this day and age, we have to try our best not to allow people to clip us. Meaning the way we talk, the way we do things, they can clip us in some ways, which is not going to cause big damage and harm to Islam or to our own reputation, right? But like I said, I was saying in the beginning, I worry about you as well. Because these things can be used in certain countries and with certain governments, whatever, against you as excuses, right? You could say, no, but I meant this, but I meant that. They don't care. They're like, okay, here's a justification of you behaving in that way, of you having this extremism, quote unquote, right? Jihadist extremism, all of this nonsense kind of buzz terms that they use. So they can justify some sort of a ban, a restriction that they apply to you or something like that.
I was banned from Australia. I
know. So the thing is, we don't give them the ammo. What you want in the end is to deliver the information to as many people as you want, to wake up as many people as you want, to get as many people you want educated. But these things are going to hinder your progress. How? From you getting banned, from you disagree, right?
I disagree. I think that it highlights a double standard, and because my belief is that, well, one, we know that Allah says in the Quran to say the truth even when it's bitter. So, I mean, I'm saying things and people find them to be provocative, but they don't call me wrong. And also, I think as a revert, and especially my position as a streamer, I have an ability, and also I'm American and I'm in New York. It breaks out of that propaganda and allows me to speak to people that would never speak to a Muslim. Like, they're afraid of you. I see people in the comments are like, why don't you get them to speak to Muslim Lantern? Because they would run away. They would not speak to you. They know they would get demolished. Like, it would not happen. They admit they wouldn't do it. I think I have an ability to reach the enemies of Islam and to reach the people that have, they're deaf and they're blind and they don't even want to listen. That's why, like, and even right after this debate, I went to debate Steiny and I just destroyed him. It's very easy, and they would never platform like someone like Joe Rogan. He's saying things now. He's repeating this all propaganda, saying that in the Quran that says that white women are meat. It's the dumbest stuff, but they will avoid people like you because they can see that they know what you're talking about. I think I shatter that because like all these words like, oh, you're a jihadist, you're an extremist, you're a neo-Nazi, you're ISIS. It's like, do people really believe that? I don't even think they believe it. And in this debate, he's like, all right, they tried the years of propaganda that have been used, especially on Arab Muslims, and it just falls flat on me.
Yeah, I'll tell you something. You have someone like, even someone who I don't think is a bad person. You have someone like Bradley Morton, for example, right? I remember I probably reached out to him a very long time ago so I can get on his podcast, talk about Islam, because he was talking about Islam or asking questions to people who have no clue about Islam, right? He recently made like a podcast with some Muslim girl. I don't know who she is. And then his entire comment section, I had no clue, by the way. His entire comment section is asking him to talk to me. The entire comment section, some guy sent it to me on email. I didn't even know that people are commenting this. But he didn't reach out, for example, or something like that, right? Which is very, I get the idea. It's like, you don't want to talk to a Muslim directly. You don't want to get engaged and talk about these specific things. Some of them don't want to engage in the religious realm. And others are afraid because they know they're going to get answers to the questions. And they don't want to deal with it like the rabbis that you're talking about. But you got to ask the question, why do they want to talk to you? Because like you said, they think it's easy. So what you need to do is to equip yourself to respond to the doubts and what they say. So if, for example, that Alex Jones is going to talk to you, but he's not going to talk to someone who is educated. So the thing is, when he started then spewing doubts, you should be prepared to at least on some level respond.
I did. I mean, you could see the debate. I think he said things that were, like he said, oh, I read the hadiths in the Quran. I'm like, you read the hadiths in the Quran? Which ones? And then he says, oh, you're a jihadist. I'm like, can you describe what jihad means? It means waging war. I'm like, no, jihad means it's the struggle of faith. And he said, what? I asked him to define Sharia. Sharia law is taking over the women. I'm like, no, Sharia means law. I refute his claims, but also you got to remember, I mean, I want to see you react to it, but he's like a machine gun. He says like a million false things at once to try to fixate. And I think this is a mistake. I see Muslims say this in the comments. They're like, you need to refute this and refute this. It's like, all right, but then we're not going to get to the meat of it is really the deportation. I think that's the most important thing to fix on. If you're going to try to refute every single stupid lie he says, it's going to take 30 hours. That's my perspective. But we'll see what you say.
What I think is you should do is the following. The idea is I don't think you necessarily need to thoroughly refute everything he says. You did it once in a debate. So first, you talk about the meat of the discussion. I believe in the discussion, he already conceded that point more than once, right? I know you mentioned it multiple times with him. He already conceded it. So I agree with you. Okay, you should bring up the idea of deportation. You did brilliantly there. He agreed with you. Point conceded, right? I'm saying once that point is conceded, there's a lot of other things that he's bringing up. And I'm not saying you need to thoroughly refute everything. All you needed to do with him, which you did once, is you asked him, name one imam. Right?
And look what you see how he responded.
Yeah. I think it's like some derka stuff, right? He started making some ridiculous stuff, right?
Yeah. Very Christ-like. Very Christ-like of him.
Exactly. But then you highlighted, you pressed him on it. You're like, okay, you can't name one person. The same thing would be with the Quran. You read the Quran twice, okay? Name one verse that says to kill innocent people. Name one verse that says to take women slaves. Just name one verse. The same. You don't need to do this because he doesn't have sources. He haven't read what he claimed he read. He did not mention a single reference for what he's saying. He's just waffling and saying, oh, guys, just go Google this. Yeah? Oh, guys, take this clip and go Google it and like spread something. So all you needed to do, when I say refute, and you'll see this in my discussions, I don't necessarily need to be like, oh, you're wrong because of this and this. No. I'm like, okay, you make a claim, you provide the source. Yeah. You made a claim that Islam says this. Okay, show me. Where does it say that? And then, of course, you could bring up the Bible saying you could sell your own daughter to slavery, and she needs to satisfy her master. He talks about slavery. But he says you can sell your own daughter to slavery. And it's not only the Old Testament. The New Testament says, obey your masters like you obey Christ. So like you obey God. So how are you going to obey? That's in the New Testament. Paul is telling you to do that. So you got to, this is what I'm saying. Very simple point, very quick points you can put there. And then the viewer will be like, okay, oh, you know what? He's right. This guy is just making up claims. Let me go actually research this. Let me go check. He doesn't have a source. He doesn't have, you don't need to necessarily, you know what I mean? You could be very quick. Like the Quran says not to force religion on anyone. The Quran says not to kill innocent people. The Prophet says, it's very simple, very quick, but it rebuts the nonsense that he keeps saying, right? So when you say, for example, I want to say something. You say the Quran says, speak the truth, right? But in the way you speak the truth. So I disagree with a lot of the conservatives that say truth truth doesn't care about your feelings or something like that, right? People who keep saying stuff like, I don't agree with this per se. I'll tell you why. We have statements from the Sahaba. We have statements from, for example, Ali ibn Abi Talib. We have statements from Abdullah ibn Mas'ud. What they say? They say, Hadithu Nasa, speak to the people with what their mind can understand. Do you want the people to reject the speech of Allah and His Messenger? Because if you say to them something that their mind cannot comprehend, they would reject it. You have also other companions saying, no one will speak to the people with a speech that their mind cannot comprehend, except that it will be a trial, a test, a fitna for them. It will lead them to misguidance. Because when you speak to the people in a way that the average person, we got to always understand, there's this average, sadly not intelligent American that is watching this person. And he sees your clip, or he sees Alex Jones repeating that claim over and over again, is not being refuted. So Alex Jones must be right. He didn't disagree with Alex Jones. If he says Islam is a battle manual, he never said it wasn't. He never said that Islam doesn't say like slavery against girls or whatever, because he didn't say that. So he's like, oh, okay, so probably he's right, but he's still focusing that we can unite. But he's still focusing that the main enemy is the orange juice, right? For example, right? So in their mind, the average person might perceive it that way. So yes, Allah says speak the truth, but also the way you speak the truth is very important. You say they don't call you wrong. They do. They say like it's wrong for you to claim that everybody should be Muslim. They claim that this is wrong. They say that you're wrong there because they think you're saying that. But that's not what you're saying. Because you said, inshallah, you mean that Allah will guide the people. It's a guidance from God. You don't mean you're... But they misunderstand.
Every knee will bow, every tongue confess.
Exactly. They say, look, I was doing da'wah like not too long ago, and some random guy comes and he's screaming this in the middle of the video, and I'm having a conversation with someone, and he with a microphone in the middle of the street. And they do this every day, and nobody says anything. Nobody bats an eye because it's a well-known thing. But we understand their hypocrisy. And sadly, that's why you have to be very, very clear. So when you say some of these people are afraid, I agree with you. They're afraid because they know I'm not going to let these points slide. And the problem with debating sometimes, this is a problem with debating, is the shotgun tactic. If you see I have a discussion with someone, I wouldn't allow them to run away here and there until I respond to every single thing they say. It doesn't matter. Why? Because there's always someone out there who may miss something, who may believe something to be false because you let it go, because you ignored it, because you didn't answer it. So in this case, you had a little bit of power over him. He was cutting you a lot. You're like, look, no, you have to, stick to it. You got to let him speak. You got to let me answer your point. Like, you're not going to speak over me, right? You have to be a little bit more firm, not aggressive or anything like that, but a bit more firm on him. Now, in the end, I think you establish a lot of things, of course. You got him to admit, let's talk about the positives from the discussion, because we're not just talking about, oh, this was not done rightly, therefore it was. No, there was a lot of positive things. You got him to admit that he's against free speech. He's against the American values that he's claiming to put forward. You got him to admit that he's a tool. He's literally helping the people he's claiming that he's criticizing by doing exactly what they're doing as a tool so they can spread what.
That was my objective. That was my main objective with the debate.
You got him to admit he's clueless about the EPS files and Elon Musk being mentioned in them, and then he's supporting him and is like he's supporting the global elites that he's been claiming all of this time to be against. So you have established these points that you wanted to establish. I think you did very good at them when it comes to the political idea, the idea of immigration. Immigration is 8% Muslims. Most of it is coming from Indians and Catholics and all of these people. It's not coming from Muslims and Chinese. You did very well there. But I believe you could even have done better in these points about Islam, because I think you didn't emphasize on Islam enough. That's the point. The only reason I'm like reviewing it is for that reason. If someone watched it, right, and they missed like certain points about Islam, that we're going to respond to what he said about Islam. But otherwise, I think you did very well when it comes to the political aspects, showing that these people are hypocrites. They're not actually for American values. They are against American values only with American values when it suits them. And they're not addressing the real issue. They're not addressing the real issue. Even when you mentioned orange juice specifically, he was not like the Zionist. You tried to even hold him. He started stuttering, and we're going to play this part when he was stuttering. He started stuttering because you got him there. He couldn't respond. You got him.
And I think that's a unique position that I have because most of the allying that is happening in America, like the Zoran Mamdanis or the Hassan Pikers, they have the left wing, right? They love to say this right now. It's like the communist jihad alliance. So Muslims are oftentimes on the left side, but I'm the Muslim on the right wing. I'm the one with around the red pill, the white nationalist types, and these like the ones that I bring you on debates. And so I think that that's a unique opportunity to get those people and get the message there. And yeah, inshallah, I have to do more work. And again, a 3-year revert. So I mean, it's like I
I
think
know.
people are expecting like, oh, Sneako, you should have did this and should have did that. Like, bro, I need
I'll
to.
be honest with you. I'm gonna be hard on you. Actually, I'll be like, no, you could do a lot more. I'll tell you why you could do a lot more, because you spend a lot of time
I am. I'm
getting
going to Medina right
educated.
now. I'm going to
No, no,
Medina
no,
right
no.
now.
Wait. No. I'm saying something else. I'm saying you spend a lot of time. You got very knowledgeable on political issues. I think if you spend like, I'll tell you the truth. If you spend like 5 to 10% of it in the private time, you don't have to do it in stream, right? If you spend 5 to 10% of that effort, because you learned a lot of things about the history, about political issues, about the EPS file, you know a lot of things there because you spent your time, right? If you put your time, your effort into something, majority of the time that you spend into something, I want you just 5% of it. Just spend 5% of it on the common objections against Islam, for example, right? Because you'll come across these things a lot of how to respond to them, having an idea of how to respond to them. Like we did like this Aisha thing, and we talked about it, and now you know how to respond to it very well, right? So you got something, you get it once, you understand how to respond to it. That's it. You're not going to need to come back to it again because their claims are not really that many. The Prophet Muhammad is the world Lord, the slavery, all of these things. It's very simple amount of claims that are repeated over and over again. If you're able to deal with these things, have a quick response to them, show them that it's in their own book and not the way they're claiming
I did.
it
I
is in
remember he
Islam.
even brought up child
Yeah.
marriage. I talked about the video that you sent me before of the child marriage that happens in America. Refuted this. The jihad claims and the terrorist claims and stuff like this. But there's much more. And you know, subhanAllah, I think the young debaters are getting really good. I don't know if you've.
I think that the young debaters are learned when it comes to Christianity, but I don't think they spent enough time to learn about Islam. I'm going to be honest, and I don't think they're watching how they conduct themselves in a lot of these discussions.
Yeah.
Which I think is very important because you'll probably see this in your own comment section of how they comment on sometimes of how some Muslims, without mentioning names, right? How some Muslims would behave in a discussion because they pick to it, like they'll pick to anything. And you yourself, you said it in your discussion with Alex Jones. You maintain yourself. I like that you're wearing a suit. You let him act like a fool. Sadly, he was acting like a fool. Even Christians would admit that all these faces that he was doing, Holy Spirit behavior that he was doing in the church, everyone would admit that this is
And that
not
goes
the right
farther
behavior.
than a lot of being able to refute. I think that goes a longer way than obviously, but that's equally important. And that's right. When I started speaking to a lot of the debaters, I could tell without watching their content. I know who they're speaking to. It's like you're the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. I'm like, you sound like I don't even want to say their names, but that's who they sound like. And then you look into the back and forth, and it's like it's a very vicious world. So I think that that's off-putting to a lot of people. So yeah, the knowledge is great, but the demeanor and the sometimes the viciousness is very off-putting to people.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's going to attract a certain audience, but it's not going to attract the real, sincere, honest person, which are rational, which you want. We don't want to bring, you have now the anti-Muslim Christian kind of apologists and all of this nonsense that they were doing against Islam and the very aggressive and then you have a lot of young Muslims now trying to do like this reaction movement. It's like the red pill and the feminism, right? It's a reaction that goes to the other extreme. No, we don't need to go to the other extreme. We need to present something better than what they're presenting. It ends up a very vicious group of Christians. This is a very vicious group of Muslims cursing and insulting and attacking each other. Okay, does that really result into people? I'm going to change my mind now. This guy insulted my mom and said that I'm like as dumb as this and that, so I'm going to change my religion now. No, it's not going to happen that way. The way that you're going to get people to concede information and think and reflect is by having a discourse, a rational discourse, information, rebut the information, respond. If they act like a clown, people will say, okay, look, this guy's acting like a clown. No way this guy's upon the best religion, the truth, and whatever, and he's acting like that. When Islam spread to Malaysia, as you know, and Indonesia and these countries, it wasn't through war. It was traders. There's no armies that went to Malaysia. There's no armies that went to Indonesia. They didn't go there. But the behavior of Muslims and the behavior that they learned from the character of the Prophet. The Prophet wasn't like this. He wasn't going around being very aggressive with people. And like I said, we're not talking about like, one exception where someone's being very aggressive and you respond. No, we're talking about making it your theme, right? I'm going to just humiliate everyone I talk to. No, that's not it, my brother. It's not the right way. So, may Allah bless the young dua and increase them in knowledge. And hopefully, they mature with time and they improve. But right now, I think there's a lot, without mentioning names, I'm not talking about anyone specific. It's not my method. But I think a lot of them need to focus a little bit more on how they're delivering the information. The information is there when it comes to Christianity. Increase it a bit more when it comes to Islam and how you're engaging with people. Make it a little bit more about your character, right? It can be hard. It's not easy. Because look, it's not easy to maintain yourself when you're dealing with a clown. But you have to as a Muslim. And that's why patience is the most emphasized characteristic in the Quran.
It's their tactic. I mean, these are vicious people. These are angry, hateful people. And they want to bring you down to their level because they resent what we have. So that is part of their tactic. They know that they are on the side of falsehood. They desperately want you to be as vicious and angry as them. And you'll see it in this Alex Jones conversation. He wants me to be like, he's chimping out. He's exploding. And if I stoop down to that and match that, then he wins. It's like arguing with a child that's having a temper tantrum. If you have a temper tantrum with the child, now you're on the same level. You can't stoop down to their level. We have to be actively trying to present ourselves with the best of character. And hopefully I think I was successful in that in these recent conversations.
I think you did very well in how you composed yourself. I think anybody rational watching this will know. This guy was just like behaving like a clown, just like making weird noises and sounds and faces. Which like, come on, you got kids, man. You're over 50. You're like one step away from the grave, man. What's going on over here? Like honestly, it's mind blowing how he was behaving. So, but like you said, you mentioned an example without mentioning his name again, without giving him clout. It starts with a Z. He was behaving the same way, right? So you get how it is with these people. But I also try to hold him to this. Respond to his claims. Don't jump. Let me speak, because they don't want to let you speak. They want to behave in a very childish, clownish way, obfuscate, move from one point to another. So sometimes you'd have to stress. You know what you did towards the end? I think you should have done it with him towards the beginning. You kind of picked on certain points, like for example, this Sandy Hook, or what's the name of this?
I only brought it up because I mean that's a very touchy subject for him.
But I think you did well there. Exactly, that's what I mean. You pressed this, you got him on the defensive because he was controlling the discussion a lot more towards the beginning. But towards the end, I can see you got him to be like, he's responding to these points which you're bringing up. That's how I want you to be in discussions with people like that, right? You bring these sensitive topics against them, show the hypocrisy that they're holding, and get them on the back foot. Don't let them like to be on the front foot, like thinking that he's got some sort of control over this discussion. And you can do it very in a very composed way, the way you did. So you did very well there. So inshallah, we're going to address all of the nonsense that he said about Islam very briefly, very quickly. Otherwise, like I said, you did perfect when you did these two other points that you wanted to prove. You did very well there, 100%.
Thank you. I'm going to be in the chat watching and hope to speak to you soon. Assalamu alaikum.
Of course. Assalamu alaikum. See you, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum. All right, guys. You guys going to give what? W Sneako? He did very well, mashallah, when it comes to, like I said, the orange juice and showing that these guys are not for free speech. They only want to push what they like. They want to push the things that are in their own narrative. All right, let's continue, inshallah, reacting to this discussion. All right, which one was it? This one, right? Okay, let's continue playing, inshallah. Let's go back a little bit.
And I've seen thousands of imams, say all this, and if you don't convert, we're allowed to take your women and use them as slaves, and all the rest of it. It pisses me off when somebody says, "I'm going to plant my flag up your ass, and we're going to dominate you," and then there you are, an American with an American accent, saying that. It's even more horrifying to people, and it basically starts a war. So I'd love to see a reformation in Islam like we had in Christianity back when some of the Catholics were trying to force people, to follow what they said, or they would.
Here, so you guys see, back when the Catholics were doing this. No, the Catholics are doing it today, and the Protestants are doing it today, right? They are the ones who have a book who explicitly commands genocide, by the way, explicitly. You guys can go and check this on your own. It's trying to say Muslims are doing this, but this is what his book explicitly commands. In the Old and New Testament, go read yourself. Luke chapter 19, verse 27, when Jesus says, he comes back and he makes He's literally unaliving everybody. Literally in the New Testament. You have the Old Testament, 1 Samuel 15, verse 3. You have Numbers, chapter 31, verse 17 and 18. And I can on and on, talking about little girls and little infants and whatever, taking them as your own slaves. It talks about your own daughter, setting your own daughter in slavery, and she has to satisfy her master and stuff. This is what his book is saying. So he says, I have thousands of imams saying that. It's a bunch of nonsense. So when he says that Sneako is trying to start a war, when he says something like that, the reality is he's the one starting a war with this kind of rhetoric that he keeps spreading. That Muslims are a group of people who are trying to do this. That Muslims are trying to take over your house. That Muslims are trying to take over your people. He is the one who's really starting a war, not Sneako or the Muslims who are saying, no, we're not going to force anybody to do anything. Allah explicitly says in the Quran, there's no compulsion, acceptance of religion. So the reality is he is accusing Sneako of what he's doing.
Of the state. Okay, so Islam needs a reformation. I don't want to be at war with Islam, but there are 50 plus Islamic countries. Most of them are 99% Muslim. There's only a few Muslim countries where Christians can live in peace.
Okay. Like somebody can just go do a 1 minute Google search now. Really? Muslim countries are 99% Muslims? Really? Egypt, which like has over 10 million Christians or so. Syria, Lebanon, all of these countries. Morocco, which has like a big population of Jewish people. Yemen. What is this? Where you bring, like, really, do you think that people don't have the time to go and do a very quick Google search and debunk all of this nonsense that you're saying?
Islam is expansionist. That's why I'm against Israel. It's expansionist. It is elitist. It says greater Israel. It sees everybody else as subhuman, at least Ben Gvir in the leadership of Israel. And so I am opposed to Israel and its expansionist supremacist activities. I'm against Islam's expansionist supremacist activities. And I'm against the Chi-Com expansionist activities. I'm against the left's pedophilic Hollywood expansionist dominance, imperial.
Okay, where is the Islamic expansionist activities that he's claiming? Where is that? Quran says there is no compulsion in religion. Where is the supremacy in Islam when the Quran says that there's no superiority over a black over a white, an Arab over a non-Arab? All of them are equal, except the one who has more piety, more closeness towards God. Then that person is closer to God. Where is this superiority, Islamic supremacy? Where is that? Right? Where is the Islam trying to take all over the entire world? Why don't you give us some information? Give us some knowledge there. Or are talking about the supremacy that we just mentioned in Luke, where Jesus says that he's going to bring everybody who didn't believe in me, all my enemies, and make them unalive them, right? Is that the supremacy that you're talking about? This is the only supremacy. That every knee shall bow and every tongue shall confess. This is supremacy that you're talking about.
Operations. I don't want America to be imperial. I've been against all these expansionist wars. Even though I didn't like Maduro, I said I think we'll probably just put communists back in. Now they want to overthrow Cuba and put the communists back in. So I'm against all of that. I'm against imperialism, not from some leftist angle, but from George Washington's angle of not being involved in foreign entanglements. So that's where I stand on all this. And when somebody declares we're coming for you and we're going to dominate you, I said to Port Piers Morgan back in 2013, it became a national story whenever he said we're going to take your guns. And I said, if you do, 1776 will commence again. So anybody trying to take my guns, anybody saying I'm going to convert to Islam in all your homes, anybody telling me that they're going to stick their flag up my ass, I'm going to tell them, if you want to fight, you better believe you got one. Go ahead.
All right, you said a lot. I mean, what flag? The difference between Israel as an expansionist state is that that's a actual country. I have allegiance to America. This is my country. Said many things, and let's stick to this original claim. You said deport now. Where am I going to go if I'd be deported?
Well, I mean, there's 50 plus Muslim countries. You could go to Iran, you go to Sudan, you could go to Egypt, you can go to Afghanistan, you go to any of those shitholes.
Look, you can go to any of this S-holes. Of course, first, he doesn't know the definition of deport, because deportation is where you send someone to their origin country, and Sneako is not of any of the countries that he mentioned. Number two, he claims that these are S-holes, right? Or whatever term he wants to use. Now, let's assume that what he's saying is true, which is completely false. If they are, why are they S-holes? Why? For what reason? Aren't you the one who went to these, the ones who went to these countries, took all over the resources, had in the 1880s, and this colonization of all the Muslim countries essentially in that region that he probably mentioned, from the British and the French and the Italians and the Americans, all of you. Aren't you the ones who are controlling these governments till this day? If they say anything that is not in line with what you guys agree, you start pressuring them? Aren't you the ones who are literally right now starting this entire war with Iran and all of the other Muslim countries or whatever? Aren't you the ones that are recently Trump and his likes spreading on X and other platforms where he's these operations against Somalia, for example, where they're like literally dropping missiles on the Somalians, and they'll claim, oh, they're T, yeah, the T word, their favorite T word. Nobody knows who they dropped the bomb on. They just like killed someone. So until this day, you're not leaving these countries alone. How are you expecting these countries to change from S-holes, as you claim, to moderate countries with your own estimation, if you are the one who's continuously attacking them?
You could go to Pakistan, they're marrying 9-year-olds. You could
look. You could go to Pakistan marrying 9 years old, which is a lie. Go on Google. Go on Google. Like, go on Google right now. Google, and then put what is the legal age of marriage in Pakistan? And then in Pakistan, the legal minimum age of marriage is 18 years old for both men and women across regions like Islamabad, etc., and all of these. So it says 18, right? Now you go to America. You have 4 states which don't have a legal age of marriage, including California and other states. You have in the last 20 years, like over 200,000 cases of child marriages where 10 years old and got married to 30, 40, 50 years old. Go research it. Just put 200,000 cases of child marriages in the US. Here. And the other states, you have them at 16 years old. So why are you accusing Pakistan of? Why don't you start talking about the EPS files, which is all coming from your country and your people? Bunch of nonsense, obviously, but yeah.
There's child marriage here in America, but how would I be deported to a country that
you could go to Medina? You go to Medina and 30 black
right,
men.
But that's not.
Well, Sneako is actually going to Medina. I mean, that part is funny because we just had a discussion with him. He says he will go to Medina. Well, he is going to Medina, which you will never go, of course, unless you change your ways somehow and you start being a bit educated and not just someone who's repeating nonsense, which is all false. And maybe you can go to Medina one day.
Deportation, that's immigration, like Elon Musk coming over here. How would I be deported to a country that I'm not from? I was born here in New York City.
Yeah, I mean, Sneako, my point was rhetorical, saying that we need to deport.
Oh, my point was rhetorical. Is that what we call backtracking? That's when you spread a false claim about someone for tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of people. Like you make a false claim where hundreds and tens of thousands of people take, like this other I don't want to even insult him. This person who's bald, who's called Andrew Tate, he made all of these posts about the person committing the crimes in the UK being Muslim, and it was false. But he didn't retract it. So you make these false claims, and then you have tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people taking this false information, and then you don't clarify. Rhetorical. Why did you say later, oh, guys, sorry, this was a rhetorical post. I didn't actually mean that for him to get deported because he's actually an American citizen. And Elon Musk is not from this country. He's an immigrant. He's the one who should be deported. Well, you should make that clarification if it is rhetorical as you claim, right?
That ideology, and we need to
so
not
you don't deport me. You want to deport Islam.
We're gonna have these. At least we're not having crazy ads come. All right, let's move on.
What I'm saying is that jihad and dominance of our culture needs to be opposed at every level.
At least one benefit you guys are going to get if you watch my video react to it or something, you're not going to get an ad, alhamdulillah. That's one benefit that we're hoping to find on more channels.
Obviously didn't mean literally put you in a cannon like a clown and shoot you, over to a Muslim country. And I said I meant it as an allegory. You also said that I was trying to get vigilantes to kill you. I said my snake or black widow analogy was not talking about violence, but why I have a phobia of pouring gasoline on myself and lighting myself on fire, or jumping off a 5,000-foot cliff, or playing with black widows in my hand, or playing with rattlesnakes. You have those phobias because it's a natural thing to something your brain recognizes is dangerous.
You're scared of me?
I am absolutely scared of giant hordes of third world populations that keep women as slaves and
you said
9-year-olds
you want to deport him now. You scared of me individually?
I am scared of being
Of course, he wanted him to say he doesn't want to say that he's scared. Of course, he knows it's gonna get clipped, and everyone's gonna like Alex Jones is scared from Sneako, which is obviously the point he's making there. But he's saying he's scared from giant hordes of immigrants coming. But I think he's talking about the Mexican immigration. He's stuttering. Yes, exactly. He's stuttering because you got him on this point. He's scared from immigration of people who are going to take others as slaves. Then he should be scared from the Mexican immigrants that are coming, right? Because they're following the Bible that teaches them in Numbers 31, 17, and 18, and Samuel and Deuteronomy 20, chapter 20, verse 10, and all of these chapters that talk about taking people as slaves. So I think he just got Muslims mixed up with the Christian immigrants that are coming in.
a cuck and laying down to people that declare their superiority and their supremacy over.
He said he's scared of being a cuck or whatever, but you already are for the orange juice. You already are for the orange juice. So why don't you deal with that first? You're already being occupied. Like, imagine this. Like, this is the argument he's making. I'm scared that in the future, Muslims are the 8% that are coming from immigration somehow are going to take over this country. I'm scared of that future fear, but I'm not scared that I'm already being occupied by orange juice. So why don't you first deal with the orange juice? Like, before talking about the future, what's going to happen in the future, a futuristic claim. Do we deal? Imagine my house is already being taken and someone stole my house. I'm not the owner of my house anymore, but I'm scared my neighbor is going to take my house in 20 years. So let's focus on the neighbor who's in 20 years. Maybe he will take my house, but ignore that this person's already stole my house. What kind of an idiotic claim is that? Shouldn't you first focus on who has your country before you talk about a futuristic, hypothetical claim?
For me, and you are following Orthodox Islam and are openly announcing we will dominate you, we will control you. So you follow the Quran, you believe?
Well, let's talk about the clip I said.
Pay the Jesus, pay the
Let's
tax,
be specific about what I said.
Chopped off. Which way is it?
Pay the Giza. Giza is a city in Egypt, by the way. Yeah. It's called the Jizya. Giza is a city in Egypt. I'm sure I know you never visited it because you just called it an ishold, but it's a city. It's not a text in the Quran.
It's in the Quran. I pay the tax, I convert to Islam, or my head's chopped off. Which one is
it? Doesn't say that.
Okay, so Sneako said to him, it doesn't say that.
He said you read the Quran twice. It doesn't say that.
I can show you 1,000 imams reading that piece of the Quran. No.
So Sneako here, you see, Sneako told him it doesn't say that, which is a great point, which I wanted Sneako to do, is to be like, okay, there is evidence that you haven't read the Quran. So can you go and show me that verse? Because now what he did is he flip-flopped. When Sneako told him it doesn't say that, he went to an imams. I can show you 1,000 imams. Oh, because the Quran doesn't say that, huh? Because the Quran doesn't say that either you pay that or your head is chopped off or whatever. He knows the Quran doesn't say that. See, he jumped from this into the imams. So what I want Sneako to do is what I want you to do in these instances in the future is be like, okay, go show me, what does the Quran say? Oh, before you move into imams, you said the Quran says that. You said you read it twice. Because it's perfect to show the people this guy's a liar. He definitely didn't read the Quran. If he read the Quran, he knows it doesn't say that. So he says he read the Quran twice. Hold him on that point because now he jumped into the 1,000 imam point.
There's three things.
Hadiths are not in the Quran. You clearly haven't read it if you think hadiths are in the Quran. So because you don't know about Islam, let's talk about
Muslim scholars. You're saying Islam doesn't say you convert.
Aha, see, this is what we call, guys, the tactic that we call in debating is shifting the goalpost. Jumping from the Quran doesn't say. Oh, so the scholars don't say. So the Islam doesn't say. A minute ago, it was the Quran saying that you've read twice. A minute later, he shifts the goalpost from the Quran saying it into something else. This is where he needs to be trapped, to show the people this guy's obviously just spreading a bunch of nonsense.
Or you pay the tax, or your head gets cut off.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So let's talk about what I said, because you don't know about Islam.
Hey, everybody, take clips of this and then show 50 imams saying it, and then show the...
Oh, everybody just take 50 clips and show that Alex Jones is a liar. I could do this too. I just Sneako like a minute later. It's like, everybody just go. I don't shoot this guy's a liar. So I mean, like, honestly, come on, man. Like, what kind of debating is this? Everybody just go get this clip and get some money. Like, what kind of debating is this? Why don't you show us? You're the one making the claim, right? Guys, go AI, fabricate a bunch of 50 AI clips of random imams that don't exist. What kind of discussion and debating is that? Who's worse, Alex Jones or Top Goy? I think if you're asking me, I think Top Goy is worse. That's the position I'll probably will take, because he claims to have accepted Islam. He's been around Muslim people, stuff like that, and knowing that and claiming he's a Muslim, he still spread false propaganda. This guy has never read a booklet about Islam probably in his life, so I'm not going to put him at the same level as this guy.
Decent, show the Quran.
Alex, maybe you've seen a lot of Facebook posts and it seems like you're getting a lot of boomer propaganda. Let's be specific about what did I say? Because you just made up a bunch of things I didn't say. You said I'm coming to stick a flag up your butt. I'm here to dominate. I didn't say any of that. What did I say?
You said we're going to take over every house.
I didn't say that.
Take over the cities.
I said, in Christian language, something similar. I don't know what type of Christianity you are. Every knee will bow, every tongue confess. I said, inshallah, the whole world becomes Muslim. I believe I have the truth. I want goodness for the world. I want you to have the truth. Christians want other people to become Christian too. Why should I hide? Why should I act like I don't want goodness for other people? Of course, inshallah, do you know what this means? If you know, you read the Quran.
God's will.
What is inshallah? God willing. So it's not up to me. It's not up to any force. It's not up to anybody forcing you and converting you with the sword and threatening.
Oh, yeah, Islam never does that. Hey, Muslims always bitch about the Crusades. Were the Crusades a response to 700 years of Muslim invasion? Did the Muslims take Spain and put over 2 million women into slavery?
Well, if you want to talk about Christian expansion.
Look. Muslims put over 200 women. I mean, I like 200 women, huh? So, in the entire history of Islam, according to Professor Alex Jones, Muslim put 200 women into slavery. Oh my God, man. How could Muslims do that for 1,400 years? How could Muslims put 200 women into slavery? Like, does this guy listen to himself when he speaks? Like, I'm going to be like, bro, are you okay? Do you listen to yourself? And look at this victim behavior. The Crusades, which academically everybody would agree is one of the most brutal movements in the entire history. He likes to shotgun lies as simple. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. That's what he's doing. But that's why what's best to do is to highlight the lie and to get him to provide evidence for that lie. Because then the viewers start to realize this guy is just like saying a bunch of nonsense because he's not providing evidence for what he's saying. He's just changing the goalpost. So we took 200 women. Yeah, guys, don't worry. We took 200 women, I guess. So he said 200 million. He said 200 million. I don't think he said 200 million. Let's replay what he said.
It's not up to me. It's not up to any force. It's not up to anybody forcing you to.
Crusades are a response to 700 years of Muslim invasion. Did the Muslims take Spain and put over 2 million women into slavery?
Oh, 2 million women. Okay, never, guys. Don't mind. I thought he said 200 women. So we put 2 million women into slavery. So where's the source? Where's the source? Talking about the Crusades as victims, like I said, which academically everybody knows, this is one of the most brutal movements. Brutal movements. You know, you have cannibalism literally done by the Crusades. Everybody knows about the Spanish Inquisition, all types of torture that these people have done. Just read about, because the Crusade was always about Jerusalem, taking Jerusalem. Look at what the Crusades did in Jerusalem when they took Jerusalem. Look at what they did to the women. Look at what they did to the kids. Look at everything is recorded. Don't read from Muslim sources. Go read from historical sources that are non-Muslim. He's trying to justify, and his sources, obviously, as people are saying, trust me, bro. Where is this 2 million people? Where? Can you provide some source, reference? Which point in history? Which Muslims did this? Like, it's just like some random claim that he just throws like this without any sources. So the Crusades, nobody is arguing why the Crusades started, why the Crusades didn't start. You can make any argument for the Crusades started for that reason, started for this reason. We don't care. We are talking about how they started. How does that justify what they did? You can start in whichever way you started. If it was an army against an army, where Muslims and non-Muslims fought, and one army won and one army lost, nobody's going to complain. But in this case, what we're talking about is the cannibalism, is the unaliving of all the women, men, and children, and like the massacres and all the torture methods that they invented, literally. This is what people talk about when they talk about the Crusades. So don't come with this victim mentality and try to talk about the Crusades and at the same time play that they were a victim. Are you joking?
If you want to talk about Christian expansion, we can too. But in the Quran, it says that you don't force anybody to convert.
But again, remember, he talks about the Crusades, yeah? It was the Muslims who dropped the nuclear bomb, right, in Hiroshima and Nagasaki in Japan, right? It was the Muslims who did the First and Second World War, yeah? It was Muslim countries doing the First and Second World War, right? It was Muslims with the NAZI party And they're the ones that had a cross on their belt, right? It was the Muslims, right? Muslims were the one doing that, right? Muslims are in this day and age are the ones who are still, schools with 200 girls are being decimated by certain superpowers. Muslims are the ones who are doing that, right? Muslims are the ones who went to Iraq, right? And they claimed there was weapons of mass destruction. This was Muslims, right? Guys, this was Islam, right? They are the ones who went to Syria, right? Right? And what they did in Chechnya and in Bosnia and Herzegovina, it was Muslims, right? Guys, if you're thinking it was not Muslims, I think you guys are not looking at history, right? It was Muslims, definitely. It was Muslims, right? They had crosses for some reason, and they were saying Jesus is their God for some reason, but they were Muslims. Imagine being a Christian and trying to play the victim about people dying in history. I mean, are you crazy? Are you insane? Go, everybody can right now go on Google and look at this study. Put Naveed Sheikh and a total death toll in human history. You know who's number one? Obviously, it's Christianity. Like 170 million or so. Number one, Christianity. Number one is Christianity. You're not going to find Islam at number 2 or 3 even, or 4. Number 1 is Christianity. So I think it puts Islam at like 30 million or something maybe even less than that. My memory doesn't serve me right now the exact number. But Christianity's number 1 is like 170 million or so. So imagine being the Christian, being the number 1 genocidal kind of religion throughout human history and trying to play the victim about Islam and what happened.
People willingly accept Islam. Nobody is trying to spread it by the sword. I want people to hear the truth and accept it. That's why I say, inshallah.
Convert, pay the tax, or have your head cut off. Convert, pay the tax, or have your head cut off.
You don't know about Islam, so you might just...
The silence.
Yeah, so here he says, you don't know about Islam. He tells them you don't know about Islam, so avoid this point, which is very important. He repeats the same lie again. That's what I'm saying about propaganda and brainwashing. He just keeps repeating the same topic. Just ask him, okay, this is what the Quran says. Provide your reference. Go ahead. Let's agree. Okay, the Quran says that. Go. Here's the Quran. You have the internet. You have an entire team behind you. Okay, you're a very well connected person. You have probably an entire production team. Go get me this verse where it says that. He clearly has an agenda in which he's repeating and repeating and repeating.
People don't know. I do know. You didn't think I knew what inshallah meant. I know what all that means.
Yeah, but you said that I'm here trying to force it and stick a flag up.
Oh, look, he knows what inshallah meant. Like the sleepy Joe Biden was saying in the election or something. Even sleepy Joe Biden is about to go to his grave. He knows that. Oh, you think that's some sort of an achievement that makes you an expert? He's an expert in Islam, guys. He knows what inshallah means.
But I didn't say any of this stuff.
Dude, you were going, fuck you to the camera. You were sitting there.
You want to know why I said this?
Whose throat you going to slit? You're like, fuck you, we're taking over. Every house.
I didn't say that.
Yeah.
I didn't say that.
Like with the Muslim invaders.
We're taking over
on their Zodiac boats with Soros.
What's the Muslim population in America?
And then you got the 200 to 1 Muslims raping and stabbing and murdering people all over Europe.
Okay, where did he bring this stat from? 200 to 1 Muslims. Okay, guys, let's apply his stat, right? 2 billion Muslims in the world. The Muslims are 200 to 1 when it comes to these cases. Now imagine 2 billion Muslims in the world. Look how absurd. Like if you want to make something up, they say they usually advise, if you want to make something up, at least make it believable. At least make it believable. For God's sake, make it believable, man. You can't do it. At least make it believable. For God's sake. So he says Muslims are committing crimes 200 to 1, and you have 2 billion Muslims in the world, quarter of the population of the planet. Do you think this guy is going to be alive if this nonsense? Do you think anybody will exist in this universe if Muslims are doing this? We will probably be the only religion on earth at this point. At least, I'm saying honestly, just at least 200 to 1. I mean, you want to lie, at least say maybe 3 to 1 or something. Just make it something more convincing. But 200 to 1.
Running over people
200 to 1. Even according to Tommy Robinson on the Epstein list, the majority of pedophiles in the UK are white Christians. It's not even the Pakistani group against the
There are
Christians.
no doubt there are a bunch of pedophiles in the UK.
Yeah.
And there's no doubt that
according to Tommy Robinson, it's predominantly white people.
You see, he tells him, according to the one who is mainly against Islam in the UK, he admits that it's white people. Then he says, yeah, of course there is, but they're Muslims. So he gives him that, Sean, look, this is not only a non-biased source, but a source that is anti-Islam, that is admitting to that. Then the other guy is just like repeating nonsense without any proof, of course.
And pick the little girls up and put them in dog cages.
Okay, before we get all heated, let's talk about what I said. Okay, there's a lot of things, and you're spreading a lot of, it seems like you don't really know about Islam. What I said was God.
Okay, see, that's a throwaway line. That's just saying, oh, looks like you don't know. You're like, what does inshallah mean? You sit there.
So here's Sneako. You see, he was trying to pretend as he is an expert and he knows what he's doing. Here's Sneako. You ask him, then that's why I say bring a source. Okay, you're an expert at Islam. I agree. You read the Quran twice. I love when people come to me in discussions and they're like, I've studied Islam for this amount of time. I'm like, oh, lovely. I love this. Okay. Since they do, all I do is just ask them questions. Okay, you did study? Okay, provide the reference. You read the Quran twice. There's no way you can bring me on one verse. You say the Quran is a military manual or whatever. You can bring me on verse, right? There's 6,000 verses. There's no way you can recollect a single verse from a book that you read twice. I mean, if I read a book twice, I recollect like a lot of it. I'll tell you that for sure. You read the Quran twice to recollect one verse for us. Or like I said, ask your production team to help you.
And what we're going to do with this is, Sneako, is we're going to take what you said. We're going to show the Quran. We're going to show the Hadiths. We're going to show the
So guys, listen. We are going to show in the future, you know? In 20 years, when everybody goes to their grave, we may make a small post somewhere in our website in small fine print. You know when they write something in a small fine print, like the refund policy or something, in a small fine print, click here to read the refund policy. So he's like, guys, look, in 20 years, we're going to go and on our website, we're going to put in the small fine print refund policy of the references of this nonsense that we made up, which don't exist. And we're going to put it somewhere in the reference and you guys go and search for it that time. You have AI. You have the internet. You have an entire research team behind you. We're going to do this. Why are you going to do it? Why don't you do it now? Because you're a liar. You're a liar. Right now, I mentioned something. I Googled it and I mentioned it to you. I showed it to you instantly. Like the age of marriage in Pakistan, for example, or the 200, or the names of the studies I mentioned to you. Right now, anybody, I can show it on the screen. And I don't have a production team. I'm sitting here on my chair. Why do you need 200 years for you to show the references for the lies you're making?
Yes,
TV
read the Quran.
Saying
read the Quran.
You convert,
yes,
you pay the tax, or we cut your head off.
Okay, sure. There's two things here. So you're afraid of an Islamic takeover of America, right? And you're saying the thing I said, F you. Do you know that I was banned from Australia? The game that I was at, you said this was an Allahu Akbar rally. This was a World Cup game. Egypt was playing Australia. Egypt beat Australia. I'm happy. Australia banned me. Do you want to know why, Alex? Similar things that happened to you. Attacks. Australia banned me.
Here, guys, I want you guys to apply this if you have a discussion with someone. Don't spoon feed people information. So here's Sneako. He spoon fed him that this was an Allahu Akbar rally, right? Sneako, instead of feeding him the information, you ask him, you believe that the rally I was in was organized by Muslims and it was an Allahu Akbar rally, right? Just ask him that. And then when he admits and agrees, you're like, look, this is the level of research that you do. This is why you shouldn't speak about Islam or anything. If you cannot do a small level of research to realize that this was a football game and that people were there celebrating football, has nothing to do with religion, then if you can't do that 1% level of research, you and your team, then you're all incompetent. And if you're all incompetent, then why are you talking about Islam? So you spoon feed him the information there. You spoon fed him the information. But what you could have done is you could have used this as a point to highlight how this guy doesn't know what he's talking about.
They said I was too anti-Semitic and I was too critical of Israel. They listed a bunch of reasons in an email saying that I criticize and that I'm anti-Semitic, and they revoked my visa. So when Egypt beat Australia, I'm like, no. It's too bad because the government applied pressure. The news was all upset. And I have a personal vendetta with that. That's what that was about. I wasn't here trying to threaten you. If you were scared, that wasn't my intention. I wasn't trying to scare you. Second, if you think there's an Islamic takeover of America, what is the majority of the immigration coming in? Because you spent your career talking about globalism. What's the percentage and where is the majority of the immigration in America coming from? Do you know, Alex?
Let me tell you, it's coming from Latin America. And then it is coming from Asia. It's coming from Africa. It's coming from the Middle East. It's coming from India.
The majority is coming from India, from China, and from the southern Mexican border. India is predominantly Hindu. China is predominantly atheist, and Mexico predominantly Catholic. So if you're afraid of immigration and you want to protect your demographic, then the Catholic invasion coming in from Mexico, that should be your concern. Muslims make up 1.3% of the American
but here's the
population.
difference.
There's no takeover. Nobody's here trying to usher in Sharia law.
Convert to Catholicism. You know, India was 3 times the size it is 1,000 years ago.
Guys, they don't ask you to convert to Catholicism, right? The same crusades that he was justifying was literally doing that, and then he's telling us somehow, oh, look, they don't ask you to convert. So every knee shall bow and every tongue confess. It's not about converting people, right? But in Islam, it is about converting people. But somehow here, it's not about converting people at all, guys. It's not. It's about being peaceful, right? And giving flowers to other individuals. I remember the Crusades, they like roses and lilies, and they used to hand them over whenever they went into a city.
Buddhist and Hindu. Now the biggest subgroup is and you've got Kashmir and all those areas, and Pakistan used to be India. The Muslims take over everywhere they end up. The Quran is a battle manual. How to take over towns, get violent, run everybody out, take over the next town. You're
avoiding the real question. Is there a real threat of Islam?
So I'm going to ask you again. You didn't answer my question. I answered yours. Were the Crusades a response to 700 years of Muslim invasions of Europe?
Okay, so after that question, the answer is no. The Crusades, nobody will tell you, no academic will tell you that the Crusades was just a response to Muslim invasions or whatever. The Crusade was specifically a call related to Jerusalem, taking back Jerusalem. It wasn't, oh, look, guys, this is a response to 700 years of invasion. No, everybody go research this if you don't believe me. This was only partly the Crusades. A lot of it was about more land. A lot of it was about riches. That's what they did. They plundered cities, they unalived people, and they left. The first thing the Crusades did when they saw a group of Jews and they unalived them, they said, look, these are the group of people who killed our God. What's that got to do with Muslim invasion, 700 years of Muslim invasion, whatever? It was about them wanting to take Jerusalem. Anybody doesn't believe me, go do your research right now. Go. It will take you 2 seconds. What was the main reason for the Crusades? It was about Jerusalem. So it wasn't about, Muslims, they realize Muslims are taking. That's a bunch of nonsense. And many times we mentioned, look at the Muslim countries where the Christians and the other religions were welcoming them because they were removing the oppressors. Look at Salahuddin when he went to Jerusalem. Look what he did to the people. They probably call him the most merciful leader to go into Jerusalem. The non-Muslims would refer to him as that. This is what Islam did when they went to Jerusalem. Now compare it to what the Crusades did when they went to Jerusalem. So the Crusades wasn't about 700 years of Muslim invasion. Absolutely not.
Conquest back and forth. The Eastern Empire of Rome, Constantinople, fell 600 years ago or whatever. That was Muslims with giant cannons that they bought from Eastern Europe.
Guys, look, Muslims with giant cannons that we bought from Europe is how we took over the Roman. I'm sorry, if you lie about history and fabricate things and say a bunch of nonsense, Muslims are fighting the Romans and the Persians 1,400 years ago, 1,300 years ago. There's no cannons. They took nothing from Europe because there's no cannons invented yet. And they were not certainly taking it from Europe. This guy just he makes a bunch of non-historical statements that just waffles them along the way.
False equivalency. There's no caliphate right now. There's no Muslim. What Muslim empire is going to take over America? Where's the caliphate today? Where's the Ottomans? It doesn't exist. You're saying they're going to stick. What flag are they going to stick up your butt?
My family background is Protestants. Okay.
Okay.
So on my mom's side of the family, the Greshams, who went back to England and then to the stock exchange, a bunch of other stuff, but they were Christians that came over here and they owned a bunch of stuff and were rich in New York. And they met with Andrew Jackson when he was president down at the Hermitage in Tennessee.
All right.
And he said, I want Western expansion, be after I'm out of office. And he said, I want you to, because you're volunteering, I want the Gresham family to sell your holdings, bring in, they accepted the plan that they came up with. My ancestors engineered the Texas Revolution, took them 10 years. They came in with 2 ships at Galveston, had shootouts with the Jesuit priests, a bunch of people got killed. One of the ships got taken.
I'm sorry, I got lost. He's mentioning a story, but I'm completely lost now. I have no idea what he was saying. If you guys got it, you got it. But he's just he's narrating a story now. Sneako asked him a question. Where is the Islamic Empire right now? Where is the Islamic Caliphate? And then he went to tell us a story about his background. Okay.
The other ship got in. They went up the river to Washington on the Brazos, started bringing in Protestants out of Tennessee, Alabama, and Virginia. Took them 10 years to set up the operations. And then we basically started a fight with their dictator, Santa Anna, a decade later and launched the war. So that's what these Islamists are too, is they're...
Oh, look, story. We did this. This is what the Islamists are doing too. Okay, oh my God, man. I believe you now. Thank you. You've provided multiple references and evidences for the claim you just made. And you obviously responded to the question of where is the Islamic Caliphate today by absolutely saying nothing. This guy is so ignorant and arrogant. It's painful to watch. I know. Honestly, watching this, it was really, really hard watching this.
Coming in as the foot soldiers to prepare the way for the takeover, and the government of Islam is Sharia law.
The government
of
Islam.
Pushing their Sharia law.
Which government?
That is the governing system within the Shiites and particularly the Wahhabis. That is 80% of
Those
Islam.
are completely different. Wahhabis and Shias.
Oh, guys, you didn't know. Wahhabists are 80% of Islam. Did you guys know? That's a new stat I just discovered today. Wahhabists is 80% of Islam. You just said. I mean, if you really want to make up some nonsense, please, like I said, make it believable. For God's sake, make it believable, man. So Wahhabists are 80% of Islam, huh? Well, they have the government of Sharia law, the Wahhabists. Shias and Wahhabists. Okay, sure.
That's what I just said. The Shiites are
government. So you think Iran?
The Shiites are 19%.
You think Iran is trying to?
Oh, the Shias are 19%. No, the Shias are not 19%. They're around less than 10% of the population of Muslims. They're not 19%. So you clearly don't know what you're saying.
Take over America?
And there is no 80% Wahhabists that exist. Maybe in your basement or something, but there's no such thing in real life.
The Wahhabist Sunnis are 79%, and then the rest 2% is out.
Oh, 79%. Plus 19%, yeah? That's his calculation now.
Alawites and a few other groups. I know all that.
And the rest are Alawites. Oh, really? Are you sure about that? Are you sure that they're not included in the 19% of the Shiism that you're just saying? Or did you put them as a new group?
Okay, where is that happening? Where is that spreading in America?
In other groups of Islam. What I'm saying is, in both major branches of Islam, but particularly in Wahhabist, it is the Sharia law down to the local imam that is the governing system of Islam. Okay. So is Iran. It is the Islamic Republic. Rulership is through Sharia.
What is Sharia law? What is Sharia? What does that mean?
Sharia law is the governing system of Islamic control.
What does Sharia mean?
The three forms of jihad.
What does Sharia mean?
And the three forms, Sharia is the three forms of jihad, according to this guy. So Sharia, if you guys don't know, and we talked about this, of course, many times before. The word Sharia in the Arabic language means the pathway to something, pathway to water, pathway to something. This is the linguistic meaning of the word. And the religious meaning of the word is the pathway to God. Sharia as a word can be used to encompass the entire religion. So right now, I'm practicing Sharia law. When I smile in someone's face, I'm practicing Sharia law. When I feed my hungry neighbor, I'm practicing it. When I take care of the poor, when I fast, all of this is practicing it. And then you have what they call hudud. Hudud, what we call hudud in Islam, punitive laws, which they usually use to refer to Sharia. It's not Sharia. Sharia, that's a part of Sharia, part of the entire religion. But it's called hudud. Hudud is punitive laws. And these are specific to punishments and stuff like that. These are the punitive laws, which applies to everybody, of course, in the state, Muslims and non-Muslims. If a Muslim steals, it's applied to him. So it has nothing to do with your religion anyways.
Sharia is the Islamic law.
It means law. Sharia means law.
That's what I just said.
In Sharia law, if you're a Muslim
you
and you
keep
live...
trying to act like I don't know about Islam. I know all about it.
First off, let me explain.
I nailed every one of your little...
Guys, he knows everything. He nailed everything. Let's give him a clap. He's clearly providing correct stats and information so far. Let's give him a quick hand of applause, guys, because he's really been very intelligent in this discussion so far.
Back to it.
No, you didn't, because Sharia means law. And
I said it's the Islamic law. You just said, Sneako, when I said it's Islamic law, then I'm wrong. It's bullshit.
Okay.
Can someone give this guy like a small chill pill or something? Like I was going to say he's going to lose his hair, but he doesn't have hair. So I can't make that claim. I'm sorry, guys. He's already lost his hair. So relax, calm down, chill. No need to
relax,
get very aggressive.
Alex. We're just getting started. Sharia means law. Under Sharia law, Muslims are supposed to follow the law of the land. Nobody here is trying to change the Constitution. In fact, it seems like you are, because you think that I should be deported for exercising my First Amendment rights. We have freedom of religion here.
You are either you're super ignorant.
We have freedom of speech. Under Sharia law, you obey the law.
I got thousands of top imams saying we will make you take Sharia law. I got them at the state house.
Oh, he's got thousands of imam at his state house. He's got thousands of imam in his mom's basement, guys. If we go if we go to his mom's basement, we're gonna find thousands of imams that are gonna tell us that they wanna apply Sharia law. Excuse my stuttering. According to this very smart gentleman, he's got thousands. Somehow he's got. It's like you. Some of us, are storing chocolate in your warehouse. Someone else is storing some meat in his fridge. Some others are storing perhaps some other type of food. No, this guy is storing imams in his warehouse. He's storing 1,000 imams in his warehouse that say they wanna apply Sharia law, right? Okay.
In Congress,
Where?
everywhere saying you're going to adopt Sharia law.
Where are you seeing in America? The imams are trying to spread Sharia law in America. Name
My
one.
God, they have.
Name one
they
imam.
City councils
Name one imam who's trying to bring Sharia law in America. Where?
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Pay attention, guys. Name one imam. Oh, that's ridiculous. Let's listen to his answer now. He's got thousands of them in his warehouse, so he's asking him to name one now.
Live on your.
Tell me. You said 20,000.
Imams call for Sharia law in America.
You said 20,000. Can you tell me an imam who wants to bring Sharia law in America, please?
Durka Muhammad Jihad.
Okay, you just want to be stupid now because you don't have an answer?
No, I mean, my God.
Sorry, Sneako. I don't think he wants to be stupid. I think he is stupid, but
Listen, we're going to take this.
That's you don't have an answer.
You do it for us. Take this clip.
oh, guys, internet, do it for us. Guys, what I'm going to do in the future in this channel, I have been doing this very wrong. I have been doing this entire discussion and debate thing very wrong from the beginning, guys. What I need to do moving forward when I have a discussion with someone and he asks me for evidence, I have to stop and say, guys, internet, go do it for us. Go find the reference. And then I can continue the discussion. This is the way to go, guys. Now we need to learn these debating tactics, right? In the future, if you get stuck and you don't know how to answer something, just say, internet, you guys know what to do. Go find it for us. Go find his derka in his basement. I think he got too much derka in his basement. That's why he started seeing dreams. He wakes up, he sees derka, he sleeps, he sees derka. It's all derka in his life.
And then show him don't go too much. You just have 15 imams say it.
You don't even know one.
You
don't even know one person that's trying to bring Sharia law here. Ron DeSantis parades around, hey, we're banning Sharia law. Texas, we're banning Sharia law. Alex, why do you think they're doing this? Is it because there's an actual threat of an Islamic invasion, even though they're ushering in H-1B visas? Even though Elon Musk, who's also calling for my deportation, is bringing in hundreds of thousands of Indians? Even though he says that white men are dumb?
Hey, let me tell you a story.
No. Before you get into a story, this doesn't make sense because you also...
He wants to give us another long story about how these Protestants did this, and the Islamists are going to do the same thing, right? This guy loves stories, it seems. References, nope. No. Evidences, nope. Stories, yep. I'm going to give you stories day and night and just trust what I say because it's a story. And if I say it's a story, then it must be true.
Islam's not expanding. You're right.
It's not expanding in America, and you have provided no evidence.
Yeah, there's nothing going on.
The reason that you're buying this propaganda is because they're pushing this to try to justify the war that you oppose. Are you not against the Iran war?
No, it's true. It's true. First thing you said that's true is the Zionists, Israel first, Likudnik, Ben Gvir.
Just say Jews, the Jewish supremacists.
No.
This is the part that I told you guys. He's going to stutter here. Notice how many times he stutters, because when he stutters, it's kind of very revealing. When Sneako speaks, when he stutters, right? It's very revealing to the points that he's trying to kind of deflect from. Let's go back again and listen to this.
Ben Gvir.
Just say Jews, the Jewish supremacists.
No. That particular, that's the dominant group running it.
Jews.
And most of the billionaires, we're talking about, oh, God, I'm hiding for the Jews covering up.
You said Shaitan.
And now, obviously, he's got to, okay, I said yes. Now I got to say, oh, I'm hiding for them. I got to change the goalposts, go to something else. Okay.
I oppose the EU tyranny. I oppose big tech tyranny. I oppose the Chi-Com tyranny.
No, you don't. You support it. Elon Musk is big tech, and he's there calling for deportation just like you. You allied with Elon Musk. He is big tech.
I cover all of that. Now, the point is getting back to this because you don't want me to nail you down on this stuff.
No. I'm telling you that you are echoing the propaganda of the people that you pretend to be against.
I know. I knew all you would do is claim I'm echoing Zionist propaganda. I'm explaining something to you. I can be against a cobra. I don't want to be put in a cage with 10 cobras or 10 vipers. I don't want to be put in a cage with 10 water moccasins or rattlesnakes. So if Israel's a cobra and Islam is a viper, you're saying, oh, you're against a viper, so you're for the king cobra. And that is not. I am 100%. I did a 4-hour show today and spent 2 hours on Israel trying to take over our military and intelligence and being listed as the top national security.
And how did they brainwash Americans to support their cause?
But let me you raise this claim. Let me finish. It's a false equivalency, apples and oranges, to say if I'm worried about expansionist Orthodox Islam, that then I'm covering Zionist propaganda. The Zionists have been successful with many boomers and people saying, you must support.
Yeah, so you're not covering the propaganda by like exposing or speaking about Islam. But what you're doing is you are essentially proving and helping the propaganda. You're spreading the propaganda even more and more. That's what you're doing. So you're not, yeah, it might be true that you're not really attacking one by speaking about the other, but you're just pushing the propaganda even forward when you speak about Islam, because that's what they're doing. They're moving the goalposts from what they're doing into Muslims. And when you keep doing the same thing, you're helping them. And of course, Sneako actually made a good effort to highlight this. Actually, give me 1 second. Let me refresh this page quickly. Okay, 1819
is the top national.
Wait.
The Zionists have been successful with many boomers and people saying, you must support Israel, and Christian Zionists support it.
How do they get support?
Or let me finish. Or you're for Islam. I am not one of those people. I am saying Islam is a threat to the West, and so is the greater Israel.
You haven't
project.
had any substantial evidence to show that Islam is a threat in America. You said no. You said Durka. You don't even know who's trying to bring in Sharia law here. And again, you haven't even disagreed.
Okay. You want me to go to X or anywhere or Google?
Well, if you had some actual stats, 1.3% of
type in. Oh my God, 90% of the refugees, the invaders in Europe that are Muslim or military.
Okay, are we in Europe or America? Are we in Europe or America?
Stay on welfare.
First,
oh my God, I can show 50 videos a day of Muslims stabbing, shooting, killing, stabbing babies. Are you running?
Stabbing babies?
Oh,
are you saying?
Guys, look. He can show 50 videos a day, guys. 50 videos. He's got, again, and I think his basement is full of very, very supernatural material that nobody else on planet Earth has got access to. In his basement, he's got 50 videos a day of Muslims literally stabbing, he says, and he talks about babies. Imagine, there's 50 cases a day of Muslims doing that, and the whole world is like, you know what? Oh, I'm going to sleep. We don't care. Maybe it may be true that Muslims every day, they are been stabbing 50 Muslims a day, 50 babies a day. But it's okay. We're just going to sleep and pretend we're going to live with them. All these mothers and fathers and families are going to be like, yeah, it's okay. Muslims are doing this every day, but we're just going to pretend that they're not doing it, and we're going to continue living our lives. The media is not going to talk about it. Yeah, obviously. The media loves Muslims. I mean, like I tell you, if you want to make false claims, at least make them believable, so people can actually believe what you're saying.
And Shapiro, talking points. Okay,
one of the Muslims' favorite things is to find a baby carriage and stab them.
But here's the mistake you're making, is that people like Elon.
One of the Muslims' favorite things is to find a baby. You know what's funny is like, I think he's quoting the Bible. Let me give you the verse. I'll show you where he's quoting, actually, because he is quoting the Bible for us. Let me show you guys. Let's read what the Bible says to us, okay? Guys, you could go to Psalms chapter 137 and verse 9 specifically. Psalms 137, verse 9. What does it say? Happy is the one who takes your babies and smashes them against the rocks. Happy is the one who takes your babies and smashes them into the rocks. I think what he was doing there, he was remembering his Bible. I think his Bible study, when he was in the in the church, he had like some Bible study about Psalms. Guys, just go. I know you guys have no clue. Where is this coming from? What the heck is the Bible saying? Don't trust me, guys. Look, go right now. Go to Psalms 137, verse 9. Actually, one of it was either Hercules or I think it was Hercules. He believed this was a prophecy about him. And he used to apply this practice. He said, this is a prophecy about me. And he used to apply this practice of taking babies and smashing them into stone. So when he says, is the Muslims' favorite practice, he claims, the Muslims' favorite practice or whatever, I think he's talking about the Bible. He's not talking about Islam here. He's talking about the Bible.
must support the wars that create the immigration. If you want to protect the demographic, then don't repeat their propaganda.
Oh, I did not support either one of the Iraq wars. I didn't support putting the head of Al-Qaeda in charge of Syria.
Well, you supported the Venezuela regime change, and now IDF soldiers are in Venezuela right now. You wanted Venezuela war. That was a big mistake.
You're not listening. That's not what I said. What I said was, in practice, under gunboat diplomacy, Barbary policies and precedent, and the Monroe Doctrine, because they're involved in our politics, they're in our hemisphere, and because they're a communist dictatorship, you could say that this would be a legitimate thing. But I don't trust that they won't put in the communist and have a dictatorship, which they put the vice president in, and now they want to do that in Cuba, arrest Raul Castro, but then put the communists back in. I don't believe the U.S. should do regime change and then not have free and fair elections. So I said I'm against it because they will.
So you oppose Venezuela regime change? Good. You did?
What I just said was, I said if they had free and fair elections, but they won't. So then I said that I would not support it. Yes, that's
well,
what
I'm against it, and it was.
So he says it's okay. So remember, guys, talking about slavery and stuff like that, right? You see, he quote him. He says, "Are you against it or are you with it?" He's like, "If they are going to replace with this specific leadership, then I'm against it. But it is okay to go and take Maduro and his wife. Well, how did they take his wife? As a slave. This is what slavery is. You go and war, you take someone and you capture them against their will. What did Maduro's wife do? But they took her as a prisoner. The Americans took her, kidnapped her. Slavery took her kidnapped her as a prisoner of war. So ignore now the slavery of the past, the Christians did. Look at it today. He's okay to support it so long as America is doing it. He's okay to take other nations' wealth and oil and everything, but at the same time call them holes and garbage countries and stuff like that. But unless they're going to replace their leadership with this specific group, then this is bad. But if they just take the oil and stuff like that, it's okay. It's all right. No worries. Oh, guys, Islam is trying to take over everything, but it's okay if we go to other governments and countries and take their leadership, kidnap them, and take their wealth. That's okay. If we do it, it's okay. Muslims do it? No. Bad. We do it? Perfect. Good. Let's give a thumbs up to this.
I was proven right. And there's now IDF soldiers there. They're taking over $2 billion worth of oil. Was sent directly to Israel.
IDF is training ICE. Where's the evidence of that? Now,
I didn't even say that's not what I said.
IDF is in Argentina, and that's one of the biggest Jewish populations, and they are trying to take the property and the government over, and because I think they may sacrifice Israel to create World War II scenario victim playing.
You're saying a lot of things. Let's get to the core issue, right? Okay, so you want to protect the demographics. You don't want an invasion. You don't want foreign influence, right? Our country is dominated by Jewish.
I'm a Christian American nationalist, and white people are demonized by the left, by the Red Green Alliance, by Israel and everybody, and I'm sick of it. White people.
Oh, look, guys, white people are the victim, man. White people are victims. They're very, very nice people. They didn't participate in any of the world wars that we talked about, or the bombing of Hiroshima in Japan, or the current war that is taking place, or the supporting the certain genocide that's happening that they are not supporting at all. They're just the victims. They're the nice people. They don't do anything bad. It's not like the Russians and Ukraine is also white people. No, they're very peaceful people, just being demonized, while everybody else is the bad man and they're the nice person that doesn't do anything wrong. Yeah, sure. Of course.
People are 7% of the world population. Anglo-Saxons are like 2%.
There's no point in just preaching.
I am sick of being run over.
Okay.
And everybody that's declared war on us, I'm saying, okay, then.
You think I declared war on you?
And you want to declare
war?
I declared war? Israel. I don't care if you're a Muslim. I don't care if you're a Chi-Com. I don't care who you are. Well, you want to fight? You fucking got one.
Okay, so your
fucking games are over.
You want a war? You want a crusade? Now
don't worry. You're gonna get one, pal.
Okay, then well done. You just played into the hands of the Jewish supremacists controlling our country.
It ain't gonna be.
Done.
No.
That's what Elon was.
So remember, in the beginning of this discussion, he was accusing Sneako's rhetoric. He's accusing Sneako's rhetoric of being the rhetoric that is going to lead to war. Now he's literally saying you're going to have war. So he's the one who's pushing the war, the violence, the stuff like this. And no, like Sneako said, where is the people taking that clip and making like an outrage over this nonsense? He is literally the thing that he started criticizing Sneako of is the same thing that he's literally doing right now. Encouraging war. That's what he's doing.
wants you to do.
It's going to be
Alex.
cultural, so you can sit over there and fuck your daughters, and you can sit over there and
You're
marry.
chipping out.
I think again he's confusing Alabama and confusing selling your own daughter to slavery, where she needs to satisfy him. I think he's mixing the biblical verses again with what Muslims do. I mean, it happens sometimes. I have discussions with some Christians. It's somehow, I don't know why they mix what Christianity says with what Islam says. It's always weird. I don't know why this happened, but it happens. It's a phenomenon.
You're
7-year-olds,
chipping out.
and you can sit over there and fuck little boys.
You're chipping
We
out.
want your shit out of here.
I think when he talks about 7 years old, I think he's referring to the William Blackstone in the UK, where the legal age of marriage in the 1800s, where he wrote in his book Commentaries on the British Law of England, page 110, and he said that the age of marriage is 7 years old. I think he's talking about in the 1800s when Delaware had it at 7 years old, and the rest of the states had it at 10 years old. I think that is the 7 years old that he's talking about in this case. I don't think he's talking about Muslims. I think he's talking about himself.
The predominant demographic in Europe, I told you, was white guys.
Bullshit.
It's not. This is
500,000 girls groomed by the Islamics.
250,000 was the estimated number. You just.
Oh, look, 2 million became 500,000 girls. Just like random numbers, guys. Can you please provide us a reference? I mean, I don't know if you're going to continue this reaction at this point. You guys get the point, right? We'll play a little bit more, but you guys get the point. This entire discussion is he makes up stats, accuses Islam of things which literally found in his own book, in his own Bible, and just screams and jumps and makes weird noises and weird moves and stuff like that. That's literally it. That's always the entire discussion with this guy. He's a compulsive liar who's just like spreading false information and shouting and screaming. Literally, that was the entire discussion with this guy. And I was really hoping that he's caught on this in each of these points, like this 1,000 Imam thing that he was caught on. But he's caught on more of this false propaganda that he's been preaching.
It, and that's completely conflated.
It's 500,000 now. They had it in Parliament. And here's the other thing.
500,000 estimated. You can look at the report.
We know Keir Starmer protected him. We know the British leadership are a bunch of I exposed that 30 years ago.
Okay. Do you want to? Okay, so let's get to the core of the issue. So you established that you're a Christian white nationalist. You want to protect your demographic, correct? Is that your main?
No, what I've established is I am a Christian populist nationalist.
You want to protect your
Those
demographic?
are my terms, who will not allow all these tribal organized groups, organized Islam backed by 53 countries, Israel backed by most of.
Oh, guys, we have organized Islam backed by 53 countries. But oral people are being murdered everywhere, right? And all our countries are S-holes, according to him. So you have Muslims in Yemen, Muslims in Sudan, Muslims in Iran by his own country right now, Muslims in Iraq, Muslims in Syria, Muslims in Burma, Muslims in Kashmir, Muslims in Afghanistan, and Muslims. I can go on and on. Somehow we're backed by 50 plus countries, but somehow we're the ones that are being annihilated by everyone. Literally, they annihilate.
Billionaires and their nuclear weapons and all of their lobbies. And then we're told as Christians, period, whether you're black or white, Hispanic, and as Americans or capitalists, and particularly as white, that we're the devil and we got to shine shoes and bow down to Black Lives Matter and Soros.
Are you doing a rant, or do you want to have a
down
conversation?
to anybody except Jesus.
Do you want to?
Done.
Okay,
done.
Cool.
And if you want a war, you got one.
Nobody wants a war. They want you to start a race war so that they can continue justifying.
If you want a war, you got one, and they're literally the ones starting wars in the Middle East right now. How are you talking about, man? You are literally the ones causing wars. Like, what are you talking about? Where's these Muslim countries starting wars? Can you go name them for us? Isn't the countries that are having war right now and starting them are all your countries, Christian countries, whether it's Russia and Ukraine, or whether it is like the Middle Eastern country that you just, the Middle Eastern war that you just started against Iran? It's all your countries. Where is these Muslim countries starting wars with you? Where is that? Do just on Yapper mode, yeah.
No, it's not going to be. It's going to be a cultural velvet revolution. The new Renaissance, the new crusade will be the energizing of Team Humanity, led by the central pillar of Earth, the West, the superior.
That Sneako's reaction right now is everybody's reaction watching this video.
System that developed almost all the modern technology and systems that's been hijacked by scum.
Okay. Cool. Take a breath for a second. So you want to protect the West, right? Let's stick to one issue. Do you want to protect the West?
Yeah, and I saw you supporting Black Lives Matter. I've seen you running down the
I
West.
saw you. I was
All right, guys. This one, it says, does the Quran teach expansion? This one is Islam expansion? It's the same story. Comparing the Quran and what? Okay. Debates get heated. Culture, identity, historical examples. Can Islam reform? Yeah, so let's talk about this idea, because you mentioned this idea. Oh, I wish that Islam reforms. Christianity reform because Christianity is a religion that is deficient. It doesn't have a system for people or for governments or for teaching where people can apply in their day-and-day lives. It doesn't have a perfect system where people can apply. Its teachings are outdated and not realistic. When you say to someone, if someone hits you on the cheek, give them the other cheek, which is the Sermon of the Mount that you guys keep talking about Jesus doing, that we all know that's not a realistic thing that cannot be applied in real life, and no Christians apply this. You're not going to go slap a Christian and he's going to give you the other cheek. So the Christians believe the Old Testament is not valid anymore. They believe the Old Testament is not valid anymore, even though they claim it's from God. Somehow they throw it under the bus. So God was wrong at some point, but then God was right at some point somehow. God was correcting himself. So they believe the Old Testament is not applicable, and the New Testament is not realistic. So you have an Old Testament that is not realistic, that is very aggressive according to them, and you have a New Testament that is not realistic. So they don't know what to do. That's why they needed a reform, because the Christians were taking the scientists and burning them at the stake, and they were against science. They needed a reform. Science flourished under Islam. Islam is a perfect system and a perfect religion, so it doesn't need reform. So it will never happen when you will see Islam reforming. And Islam is not this idea of the expansionist religion. Islam's goal is not to take goods and resources of countries. That's what you guys do. When Islam, go look, the difference between Islam and every other government is the following. When Muslims went to other countries, they fought the government. Then they did not do any injustice to the people. They helped the people. They showed them justice. They took the oppression from them. But not only that, the most important thing, when Muslims took these countries, they didn't take the resources and go. This is what the Christians always did and what the Europeans always did. They go to a country, they take over it governmentally, but that's not the problem. The main problem is they persecute the people, like the French did and the English did and all of them, right? Forcing, let's ban the Arabic language, for example. You're not going to see Muslims doing that when they took countries and forcing their own language on the people. Then take the resources and go back to your country. So you destroy one country and you try to have your country flourish. You go show me where is it in Islamic history where you had Muslim countries going and taking a government and then persecuting the people like in that way and taking the resources and going back. This was never the Islamic behavior, and that is the problem that we have. It's not about government fighting a government. A government can fight a government, and when you're powerful, you can take over the government. But what you do after is what really matters. It's what really influences the citizens living in that country. So I think it's enough, guys, right? I think it's enough. Or do you guys want to watch more of this guy just say a bunch of false information without any references and proofs? I don't think you guys wanna watch any more of that. I think it's enough at this point. What do you guys think? I think if anybody watches this, they'll realize that this guy's been just spreading false information nonstop. Everybody's saying enough, huh? There's guys that are just spreading false information nonstop. And this is what we want. We want to reach the people that are following this guy, Alex Jones. We want to reach the people that actually watch this discussion. All I am asking you, look, I've corrected him now just 20 minutes. And look, I took like all this time to correct him, like an hour correcting, because he's been just spreading false information. So all I'm asking you guys to do, if you're a non-Muslim, if you're a person who's non-biased, if you've seen this discussion, just go take the information he says and research it. So all you have to do, really. It takes you 2 minutes to do this, right? Take this information, go and do a quick research, and you come to your own conclusion. Is this guy lying or is he saying the truth? And once you establish that in just this 20 minutes that we watched, this guy's a compulsive liar. He's been spreading false information and things which are not true. Once you come to that conclusion and you agree with that, then you know that there is no point of listening to what this guy said. You take everything you hear him say, you take with a pinch of salt. You know this guy is not a reliable source of information, right? It's the only thing that I want to establish from this. This is the point of watching this. And yeah, Google is free. Like no one's saying is here, well, like Google is free. Yeah, Google is free. Go to Google, Google the information that he's saying. Where is the source of this? nonsense that this guy is spreading. You realize he's just saying a bunch of nonsense, essentially. All right, let's take some of the comments that came before. Let me see. 1 second. Assalamu alaikum, which best country to live in right now? Well, it depends on your situation, financial situation. You're not married or you're married. It depends on a lot of things, to be honest. And what languages you speak. You speak Arabic, you don't speak Arabic. Will you finally be able to be your students? I don't know. Maybe in a way, in the project that I'm talking about, in a way, maybe you can be. Actually, that project that I'm talking about, inshallah, that I'm going to release soon, can help you in that somehow. The animal kingdom fears a smite from his kingdom. Okay. Assalamu alaikum, alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Young Muslim did the damage. Their comment section is cooked, baked, and all the stuff, humiliated. The damage is some of the public is being done. I know. I mean, we talked about it. May Allah Azza wa Jal guide us all as Muslims, and we can have a better attitude in dealing with non-Muslims. Because we can claim this is not da'wah, because what you do is a representation of Islam. It's either you're a good representation or you're a bad representation. Some people say, I'm not doing da'wah. That's not an excuse. You're either a good representation or a bad representation. If you're a bad representation, it's not an excuse just to say, I'm not doing da'wah. You're doing a bad representation. And that is going against what we're trying to do. So it doesn't excuse it, just if you say it's not da'wah. This person, Jesus loves you. Yeah, of course. All right, cool. Should we do a quick live stream where we get some of the Christians to come tell us about how Jesus loves us, as usual? Oh, man. Jazakallah khair. I appreciate it. You're welcome to come on and actually have a discussion with this picture that looks like a picture of the devil or something. I don't know what this picture is, but it doesn't seem like it's a very positive picture at all. And a Christian having this picture, I think it's a bit weird. Wait. I'm going to skip a lot of the things that he said because he's just like, he made so many comments that are, you can just come on and tell us these things, inshallah. About taking over, if they are worried the last hour would come when the Romans would be a majority among the people. Yeah, I mean, there will always be Christians and Jewish people. We have this in the signs of the Day of Judgment. There's never an idea in Islam where the entire world will be Muslim. It will never happen. We know for a fact it will never happen. Because we already have the events of the last day, the Day of Judgment, or the events before the Day of Judgment. And we know that there will be other religions at that time. So it's never going to happen where you have before the Day of Judgment, you have everybody's like, or before the last signs of the Day of Judgment, everybody's a Muslim. It's not going to happen. May Allah love you as well. Jazakallah khair, brother. Alex regurgitates push air propaganda when backed into a corner. Yeah, and makes some weird noises and screaming sounds and stuff like that. Essentially, that's what he's doing. The truth is that they refuse to believe that everything they accuse Islam of is in their own religion. Yes, and it's not in Islam. And may Allah unite us and preserve us against this fitna. Ameen. Islam is a Middle Eastern religion, right? And Jesus was from Scandinavia. Sneako made this point, actually. He told him, where was Jesus from? Because he was talking about the dressing of Muslims. So Sneako caught him. He did a brilliant job catching him on this point. Derka, a South Park Team America reference. Alex relies on cartoons, puppets to study Islam animation. Reading the Quran twice. Oh my God, man. I didn't even know that this was some sort of an animation. I realized, yeah, trust me, bro. Exactly. I also realized when they talk about Islam, they confuse themselves with their Bible. Yep. The one thing I recall you missing one claim made during the 2 million moment, he mentioned 30 black men or something along these lines. I mean, what's the point of refuting that? What is there to even refute in a 30 black men comment? Like, what's there to refute? Reminds me with your convo with the other American. Allah understand, man. All right, guys, maybe we'll come back for a quick stream, but just a very quick stream. We'll see if we have someone ready. We'll come back with a quick non-Muslim Q&A, maybe. And inshallah, we'll leave this live perhaps. All right, guys, let me end the stream and start another one for the Q&A. And I will see you guys in a few minutes, okay? All right, you guys can take a 10-minute break or something while we do the new stream, all right? Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. سبحانك اللهم بحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. Anything I said correct is from Allah. Anything I said wrong is from me and the shaitan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.